Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott, and we are heading into the bush as Blaine Tyler and Lisa Tyler are here to talk about Sasquatch in the province of Ontario. We're going to have a great show talking Bigfoot with them. Before we bring them on in, let us say hello to each and every one of you as we have Eternity Eternal in the gold medal position. Kitty Caddywhack with a silver. Race fan taking home a rare bronze medal tonight. And you know what? We're all getting warmed up. The Olympics start tomorrow, okay? And officially, at least. And I'm going to tell you right now, Team USA, when it comes to hockey, we're going to kick your ass. We are going to kick your ass. And the rest of the world, no competition. It is officially on. We could be hockey. When it comes to hockey, we can officially be enemies for right now. Okay, so it starts today, and it'll go for the next couple of weeks. Then after that, it's all back to friendship again. Okay, we can do this. All right, let's continue with our roll call. Mel WD-40 is here, lubing us up for tonight's show because you can't talk Sasquatch without being nice and lubed. Thank you, Mel, for the lube. Don't forget to give yourself a little shot just in case. We appreciate you. T-Bone, my man, how are you? Necessary Dialogue. And Robert Lamoth, happy times around here right now with you guys here. All right, Aussie Boss Tiger, Vamp Skyder, and Mama Catherine, there she is. Mwah! I love you, my dear. I hope you have a great night listening to this show. I know it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're glad that you're here because you missed the last couple of nights, so I'm glad you are here. Scrolling on down. Oh, if Ava is with you, give her a big hug for me if you don't mind. Scrolling on down, Luscious Jules, nice to have you here. As we scroll on down on our roll call, I feel really behind right now. Kathy Evans, nice to see you. Operation Shutdown, nice to have you here as we scroll on down on our roll call. And who is next? Kurt M is here. Kurt M will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind, to the left of the studio. Audacious Amber, nice to have you here. United We Stand, thank you for coming on in. Desert Rat, East Coast Turnaround on X, and Digger Dog. Good to have you all here. Undead Jed, Doug Shelby is here. The Doug Shelby has arrived, which means we can officially start this show. Tartar Sauce, what's going on? Walter Kochabinski, Algaray over on Twitch, 2,000 sit-ups in 4 minutes. That even included a bathroom break. Good job tonight, Algaray. Millennium, my man, thanks for coming on in. Millennium will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind, to the right of the studio. All right, T-Bone, my man, thank you for kicking off the Super Chat. The Super Chat is a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis, along with giving us a thumbs up, if you don't mind. We'd appreciate it. I'm Hardcore over on X. Thank you for coming on in. Carol Amario, nice to see you. Erica Stover, Paramarv, good to have you both here. As we scroll on down and say, hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Jerence Carter, nice to see you. As we scroll on down on our roll call, El Cid, it's nice to see you become a regular around here. Thank you, El Cid. Appreciate you. And we're going to get the radio side going here, guys. Hold on. Hello and welcome to the radio and podcast side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We're going to have a great time with Blaine and Lisa Tyler as we look into Sasquatch in the province of Ontario. We are in roll call right now on our YouTube side, so just stick with us as we're going to get going here in about 40 seconds or so. Jay Trueseeker, nice to see you. Road Flare, a pleasure to have you here. And let's see here. Continuing on. Everybody's the same. Dr. Bob, nice to have you here. And let's see here. Yeah, we're caught up. Oh, there's Tim Mothman and his goatee, two separate entities. And the super chat is open. Our store is always open on our website, spacedoutradio.com. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. So make sure you check it on out. And it is that time of the night where I ask all of you to do me a favor. Throw those horns up. Let's rock.
Are you ready to hear your mystic voice of the night?
It's time to wake up.
He's here. Shush. Be quiet. He's ready for you to listen. Let's point our ears towards the little cabin in the woods, where together, my friends, we own the night. It's time for Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott.
From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out Bumblefoot. Read the news wire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. We're going to talk some Sasquatch tonight. We're heading to the province of Ontario. Yeah, where the Maple Leafs run to hide after losing another Stanley Cup once again. And it's looking that way for, well, what will this be? The 59th year in a row. Oh, that feels good to say. Blaine and Lisa Tyler will be here. Okay. And yeah, not sure if he's a Leafs fan. He looks like a Leafs fan. Lisa seems a little bit more brilliant than that. But we'll figure that out here momentarily. Then in hour number 3, Swamp Dweller will kick things off. Follow that up with the Wizard, Josh Rutledge, who will be here for the UFO report. So let's get right to it, shall we? Because I love these guys. I got to spend some time with them the last couple of years at the Nebraska Bigfoot Conference, where they put on some great presentations. Blaine and Lisa Tyler are a Canadian Bigfoot research couple and outdoor investigators based in the province of Ontario. They are known for their hands-on approach to field exploration and eyewitness documentation. Spending countless of hours in remote forests and rural regions, Blaine and Lisa focus on tracking reports, analyzing environmental patterns, and interviewing witnesses who claim encounters with Sasquatch-like beings. Their work emphasizes patience, observation, and respect for both nature and the people who have come forward with their stories, helping build a grounded perspective within the cryptid research community. Let's bring them on in right now. Blaine and Lisa Tyler, my friends, it is so good to have you back on Spaced Out Radio. How you been doing, Blaine?
Pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
Thanks for having us on, Dick.
Hello to everybody out there.
And Lisa, how are you, my friend?
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
Wonderful. It's so good to have you guys back on. Blaine, for people who may not know your story, how did this whole realm of Sasquatch begin for you?
Oh, wow. Okay. So going back, 50 something years now. I had a first encounter when I was a kid. I think I was around 8 years old, up in a southwest corner of Algonquin. Um, I went for a walk, and I almost literally walked into them. There were a bunch of them hiding in like the thickets of the bush, watching our hunting cabin. And the reason I was out by myself because I was young and I had older brothers. They were sleeping in. So that's how it all started for me. And then I just started running into them. Actually, I used to try and avoid them. I could tell where they were. You know how you get that feeling when you're being watched. So at first I just tried to avoid them. But then when I got my courage up, I started kind of interacting, or not so much hunting them down, but using what I know to go find them and document them and enjoy the encounters.
How did you suck Lisa into this? I mean, you meet this beautiful young lady back in the day, and then you have to tell her that you're a weirdo and that you go chase Bigfoot in the forest. Lisa, how did that work out? What made you all of a sudden say, hey, I want to give this a try?
Well, it's kind of organic. It just we've had a couple times when, as a family, we'd go out camping or hiking, and we get these experiences. And at first, it really kind of freaked me out because I was like, "What is going on here?" And as time went by, and we started going out on our own once the kids grew up, it was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. So I just mostly at the beginning was a cameraman. And then I started noticing things as, Blaine's teaching me and saying, okay, so you see this over here and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it just kind of happened.
Okay, but let's go beyond that. I mean, you're looking at Blaine. He's a young, handsome, strapping dude. You're kind of like, oh, this guy's pretty cute, And then he tells you, yeah, what do you know?
He didn't tell me. That's the thing. I kind of found out on my own.
I hid a lot of the scary stuff from her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I knew we had them in our yard. Me, Lisa, and Derek went out, and we had some juvies going through our compost. And when we went outside, I kind of, not so much whoop, more of a woof at them, and just to let them know I know they're there. And then they jumped the fence and took off screaming through the field. So that was one of the first ones here at the house.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. And then there were other times where, the kids would have left toys out in the yard, and, I'd pick them up and move them to one side of the yard. And the very next day they were back kind of behind our barn. I'm like, well, how did they get there again?
Yeah. They're playing with the juvies were playing with our kids, all like the toys leave outside, the doom buggies and all that kind of stuff. The
dinky cars.
Yeah.
Cards and all that. They were playing with them, and they take them out of a bin and play with them, and then they just leave them when they got bored or whatever.
They didn't pick up their toys.
Yeah, they didn't pick up their toys.
Oh my. Now, a lot of people will not be able to really comprehend what it's like. I mean, how do you have Sasquatch in your backyard? Tell us about, without telling us where your property is, tell us about your property. Are you on Crown land? Do you back into a forest? I mean, how many acres do you have? I'm sure you're not living in a subdivision where your closest neighbor is about 28 feet away.
Yeah, no, we're in a small village, but we have a river behind our property and a lot of open land behind. So, I mean, they could just kind of walk up the river. I don't think it's that deep.
Well, they walk up the banks and through the fields.
So, I mean, they could come into our yard pretty quickly because it's how far would you say the river is?
Well, our yard's about 50 yards deep. And so we got no neighbors on either side. Well, we got one neighbor, but the kind of people that don't use their yard. And then behind us, there's just an open field where there used to be horses. So,
and then the water.
Then there's a little bit of like the shoreline and then the river, and then if you go northeast on the river, there's a marsh. And then of course they're protected in the marsh. There's no activity in the marsh. You can't hunt or anything in there or whatever. So, it doesn't take much for them to just walk down the river and come visit. Actually, why don't you tell them about the Lisa had a really good sighting. Was that last winter?
It would have been a year ago November.
So a year ago November.
Yeah. So we've got cats, and they wake up quite early in the morning, and I don't know if it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning or something. They were just going nuts. I thought, well, geez, I'm just going to go down, feed them, shut them up, and go back to bed, right? And then, you know, I'm looking and putting their food down, and I kind of look out our back window, and it was just starting to get light out. So our backyard faces east, so it's just starting to get light, and I kind of noticed that the sensor light was on. And the sensor light only comes on if something comes fairly close to the house.
Like 20 feet or so from the house.
Right?
So maybe that's what the cats were freaking out about.
So
it was looking in our window and they're scaring the cats, probably.
Yeah, well, I didn't know something was scaring the cats until I saw out there was like a silhouette going past the trees in the back.
Oh,
that
wow.
was really tall and very bulky, kind of going from one side of the yard to the other. And I just kind of looked at it and I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the video I haven't made yet when my wife met my girlfriend, my Bigfoot girlfriend.
Yeah.
So she's seen her at the back fence. It retreated to the back fence. And then we have some trees that are kind of V-shaped or whatever. They're not straight up and down the trunks. So it tried to hide behind them. So Lisa's seen it stride towards the trees and try to get some cover behind those trunks.
Yeah.
So
mystery solved why the cats were going crazy.
Yeah. So she must have been quite close to the house to set the sensor off. So Lisa actually had a really good sighting of one. Silhouette though, because you can really see a lot of detail. So that was just one encounter, but
well, they've knocked on our roof.
Yeah, they've been pounding right before Dr. Bindernagel came back in 2014. I was probably too aggressive, but I was out in the middle of them a lot. So then I'd leave and whatever, take a few days off. And then they found us and they were getting on our roof and pounding all the way across the crown of the roof. I think what they were doing is they were trying to locate. They see us go to bed at night, the lights go off, and they're trying to locate where we were going upstairs. So they were pounding all over. I don't know, maybe trying to get a response, but eventually they figured out we were at the, I guess, the south side of the upper level. And then that's where we started getting taps and knocks on the roof.
Mm-hmm. Around the same time, weren't you getting vocalizations out this window?
Oh, yeah. Right here, that window right behind Lisa. I was listening to Ron Moorhead's Sierra Sounds on the computer. I shut off the computer. I know. Are you familiar with the rapid fire section of the Sierra Sounds?
Yes.
So I was just listening to that 32-minute clip, shut off the computer. It was summer, so the windows were open. I went to this window. I started to close it up, or was going over to close it up. And then I heard the exact same sequence through that window right behind Lisa from like 3 feet away behind the window. So they must have been in here watching me research about Sasquatch through the window.
You got that camera shot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got an old pixiated camera, trail cam. One of well, actually there's more than one, but one of a juvie crawling around in the grass, like commando crawling. And then it also captured, and I've been looking for these pictures, but we've had some viruses kill a lot of our pictures, where one thing my girl was portaling in beside our house. You could see the portal oval black shape. And I wasn't into all that. I mean, like, I don't know. People are saying they see this and that. I'm like, okay, I had to keep an open mind on it. But then my trail cam, only like a 2 meg, but it captured the oval shape of a portal opening up. And I'm like, well, that's just a dark area playing tricks with the light. But then I noticed part of the house was missing. You could see the siding above and below, but there's kind of oval part of the oval shape of my house you couldn't see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this something right out of Star Trek or something like that. And then I'm like, oh wow, and I didn't know what to make of it. It took like 7 shots of it, and I'm like, what's all this? At first, I'm like, is this just like an error? But whatever was inside the portal, it's kind of like that. I guess it's Nova Scotia, or the one where the guy was filming it, or whatever, Nova Scotia or New Brunswick. I have to look that up. But anyway, so it took a bunch of shots, and that's how I guess my girlfriend travels to come visit me or something. I don't know, but the trail cam caught that, and I mean, this is all way ahead before it became mainstream. Like same as cloaking and all that stuff that they do, which I showed Dr. Bindernagel all this when he visited me. I sent him some clips of me filming them, and some of them moving and running or tree peeking. And before it became a known thing, he called it ethereal transition, which basically is commonly referred to now as cloaking. So that's Dr. Bindernagel in 2014 looking at this stuff that I was showing him. And I say, no, there's something to this. This isn't just spiritual. I seen them like when when I started going after them. Not going after them, I started researching, but you go out and I had a really close encounter my first time when I started taking it a little bit more serious than just being a casual researcher. I seen one fade out right in front of me, and I filmed it. Big adult male pushed his head through the bush after I visited the shelter. He was watching me, and then instead of retreating, he just faded out into nothing. And I was like, that's a nice trick.
I want to ask you about your house, because I mean, a little bit earlier you said you heard knocking on your roof. Were they jumping up on your roof and walking on your roof as well?
I don't think they were jumping up, because we have kind of like a 2-tiered house, right?
No. They can get up through the roof over the laundry room. It's only 6 feet or so, 7 feet, yes. But there's trees there. Yeah, they're climbing all over the roof. Yeah. And I don't know if they're stomping on it or using their feet. Maybe, I guess it could have been using their feet. I never thought about that. Yeah. But
they were shaking pictures off the wall one night.
Yeah, and then we had a big house slap right here, right where the my Bigfoot thing is, and it almost knocked all the picture frames down right before Christmas, and it's just amazing how they can the power of it. So that's
happening.
What's that?
How often is that happening?
Well, that was happening almost every night, because I used to do all my research in here. I'd open up the windows. I'd even put a recorder there sometimes after I missed out on the mimic to the Sierra sounds. They knew what it meant. They responded to it to me. So, but anyway, I was talking to Ron Moorhead about that. He wanted me to get a recording for it, but
yeah, it hasn't happened for a little while though.
Well, I've had to.
Not when I was home, anyway.
Yeah. I don't research around my house, around our village, because then they're banging on the walls. Well, because remember, I got kids that don't want to see big eyes in the back window when they're trying to watch TV or gaming and stuff, right? But they would stand in the yard right here. Our living room's the next room over that way, and they literally would watch me watching Bigfoot shows through our big window, right from our yard. So I'd turn off the sensor sometimes so they could come closer, so they wouldn't be scared of the light coming on. But yeah, it's just they're very confident in how well they can hide, and so they know if they stay still, if they're behind cover, that people can walk right by them, especially if it's dusk or dark. People don't see them. But lots of activity right here, and tapping and vocalizations. Watching me on the computer, watching us watch movies.
Oh, didn't they put remember they put the barrier at the back?
Oh yeah, they put a barrier at the back of my yard.
What do you mean that?
They built an X barrier at the back of our yard. So
what do you mean a barrier?
Yeah.
What do
I don't
you,
know if they wanted me to stay on this side of the fence. I never went over there once they did that anyway.
hold on 1 second. What do you mean a barrier?
Well, like an X structure,
Oh, okay.
an X structure. And speaking of that, Lisa's encounter, the sighting in the winter last a year ago, November. I went out there after, and we didn't have snow, but we had heavy frost, and you could see where something walked through the frost, and you know how it was disturbed, so something was standing there, and all the frost and was gone, and like a bit of not a trackway, but where something was standing there for a long time, and then of course the heat of it or whatever melted the frost off. But so yeah, there's something right out there.
I mean, for a lot of people hearing this, they'll say their immediate reaction is going to be like, oh, it's just bears or moose or, something else that is, already been proven. Yet here you guys are trying to talk about the Sasquatch, and claiming it's something that doesn't exist. Yet here you are, you were kind of forced into research because of all of these close encounters. It's affecting your house. It's affecting your lives, not nightly, but often enough where, you can't even, go to the bathroom without getting knocked on and saying, hey, what's going on in there? I mean, that has to be a little bit dissuading to you guys. I mean, even though you're really into it, I mean, your house is supposed to be your privacy.
Yeah. Well, I think at first it bothered me a lot because, mom instincts kick in. It's like, oh, they better not touch my kids. Right. But after a while, you just kind of got the feeling that they don't mean any harm. The ones that come here anyway, they're just curious. Yeah.
A lot of it was the juvie kids too. I mean, yeah, the mums around, they stay further back. But after actually, there was something else too. I'm trying to recall it. But I go outside at night and I turn all the lights off. I go out and sit on the deck, in the lower part of the deck, which basically my feet.
The branch.
Oh yeah. You can tell them that one. Okay. But anyway, after the house slapping and all that, I go outside. Because they want interaction. So it doesn't keep going all night. I just go outside and hang out with them. Even after the really aggressive, oh, wow. After the slap on the house, what preceded that was I was out for a walk and I seen a pair of them mating in the field. So I interrupted them.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then as soon as it got dark, like around 7:30, 8 o'clock, she was upstairs wrapping gifts. The big house slap happened. So yeah, that's what proceeded. I just went for a walk up. Like we're one of the last houses in the village, and then like 2 minutes away, you're out walking by fields and scrub and trees and stuff. And so that's what preceded that. Was I seen a pair of them? I guess I went like right at the end of the day before it was dark, and I seen a pair of them in the fields, and then. I guess one of them didn't appreciate it and came and slapped on our house as soon as it got dark. So that's what happened. That's what preceded that. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't have yelled, "Get a room," huh?
No kidding. What are you supposed to do? I mean, you're not expected to be all of a sudden, going for a nice walk, enjoying nature, and then all of a sudden see a couple of Sasquatch making sweet love with Barry White playing in the background.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just not kosher. But then again, I can see their point too. Say, hey, Blaine, come on. Am I spying on you and your wife? Are you and Lisa getting spied on by me? No, I'm not doing that. But here you are, you filthy pervert, trying to do this to us. I mean,
hey, I was just walking up the road and I'm looking into the field because I know I found stuff up there.
We're going to go to break here. Blaine and Lisa Tyler, Sasquatch around their house, Sasquatch around Ontario. We'll be right back on Spaced Out Radio.
Oh, Dave does that.
Oh,
All right, there we go. There we go.
okay, he's unmuted.
Yeah, for some reason, I can't connect to the chat. I don't know why. I tried a couple times. It wants me to log in through YouTube, and it's not letting me. So
Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but ridiculous.
yeah, I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Well, there's another aspect to it that we can go on about when we come back.
Yeah, we'll do that.
About and I'm gonna tie it into the DPI, the Loft Pass incident.
Cool.
So,
yeah, I didn't get a chance to ask Teddy your question. I actually got really sick before showtime, and Josh Rutledge ended up having to do the show for me.
Right.
I got dude, I was almost in vertigo type sick.
Wow. I made a couple comments. I went on. I made a couple comments just to show some support and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty brilliant when it comes to that subject. I don't agree with everything she says, but she's the one living it every day. I just want it to be a little bit more woo than reality. That's who I am.
Can everybody hear us?
Yeah, they can hear us right now.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason they don't want to look into the Sasquatch aspect of it. It's her site and everything, but they don't want to, the paranormal things that they can do would explain a lot of might explain a lot. Let me just say it like that. But I'll get into that when the show kicks back up if you want to talk about that a little bit.
We have to hit the login up there.
All right. We got about 3 minutes here. Oh, it's been good so far. Very good so far. Oh, where'd they go? We lost them. We lost the connection. They'll have to come back. Bobbert, how are you? Let me get to my message here. Hope they didn't lose power. There they are.
We were trying to sign in again.
Oh, okay. You scared me there for a minute. Gave me a little bit of a heart attack.
Well, I didn't think it was shut down. I thought it would just pop open another tab.
No, it did not. That's okay. That's okay.
Comments or
Yeah, look at that. Sasquatch took down the internet cable. That's right.
no, it still won't let us sign in.
Still won't let us.
Yeah, don't forget tomorrow, everybody. It's Axl Rose's 64th birthday. All hail Axl tomorrow.
Axl Rose.
Or fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting old as for the birds.
So, you got a what's the conference over there called? Your conference, a Caribou Conference, or what?
Caribou Con.
Caribou Con.
Yeah.
When's that?
September 18th through 20th.
So we're gonna miss it by
A month.
a couple weeks or so. Well, we're out there at the end of July.
Yeah.
2 weeks out.
All right, guys, we're coming back in 15 seconds. Thank you to T-Bone, my man, for our lone super chat of the night. We appreciate you, T-Bone, as always. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, we try and get 100 thumbs up every show minimum. Get that thumb up. Here we go.
Oh, maybe I can.
Here we go with the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. If you like Bigfoot talk, tonight is your show. My name is Dave Scott. Our guests, Blaine and Lisa Tyler, will be here momentarily for Ontario Bigfoot. And first, I want to remind all of you that if you missed portions of this show or others, our archives are always free. Go to YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. Check out our store there. We're all over social media, including YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok. Just throw in Spaced Out Radio. It'll come right up. I promise you. Blaine and Lisa Tyler are here. They have Sasquatch running on their roof. They got Sasquatch in their trees, Sasquatch in the river behind them. And then if that's not enough, Blaine has to go out into the forest about 42 kilometers northwest, east, south from his property to find more Bigfoot. I love it, Blaine. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Lisa takes care of me.
I try.
Lisa, what do you think of all this around your house? I mean, your home is supposed to be your castle, yet here you are having them slam their hands on the walls, nearly knocking pictures off the walls. I mean, the only thing they really haven't done yet is come up to your house and steal your apple pie that you just made.
Well, that's because I don't make apple pie, Dave. No, honestly, it doesn't bother me as much as it used to, because I really don't feel that they mean anything malicious. I think they're just curious about what we're up to. So it's like, okay, yeah, they're here again. Doesn't bother me.
Well, before the break, we were talking about the slap on the house, and I was out walking and I inadvertently, because I'm watching for them, because I found prints and everything. I found, I don't know, like a kill area, I guess you call it, where they take their food they catch it, then they take it somewhere else safer to eat it and whatever, they dismember it and all that. I found that area like 10 minutes up the road, just walking and stuff. So I knew they were up there. But it's just the way where I like to go hiking, because it's wide shoulders and you don't have to worry about getting clipped by a car or stuff. But the other day you had Theodora on, right? That's her name?
Theodora, yeah, Teddy.
Theodora, right, from the Diaplop Pass incident. Something I want to add, but like I said, they don't really research the Sasquatch and stuff. And I was trying to suggest that why don't they look into what the Sasquatch can do in North America, some of the weird stuff, right? And well, just skipping ahead, there's lots of stuff they can do. Like I've had them beside my tent and not leave prints, like in the sand and stuff like that. But more importantly, on 3 different occasions, one of them smacked the side of my van. What preceded that was I stopped. I spotted a shelter really close to the road where they had little ones in it. So I got out and I kind of filmed it with them in it, and they were all scared. So I left. But on the way back, the mom slapped my van, and I was sure she broke the quarter panel, the back right, passenger back right. But it wasn't broke. You could see it was disturbed, from the dirt road, and like the dust was disturbed. I'm like, wow, that's weird. I thought for sure that was broken because, I bumped into it with my mountain bike and it left a dent. So why wouldn't a big smack leave a mark? So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's tougher than I thought. So then, as we mentioned earlier, we had them on our roof, our tin roof, and they were pounding. But when I get up there, I leave indents. You know, the roof will buckle and then eventually up. No indents. I'm like, what? How can they do all that, make all that noise, walk around? They're heavier than us and not leave any indents. I thought that's really weird. So then I'm like, okay, so that's two bizarro where there should have been damage. And then the third one was right here where after I inadvertently caught them breeding, they smacked the house so hard that the whole house shook, and Lisa was at the top, the side of the house on the top level, and it scared her. That's how loud it was. And like I said, the picture frames almost fell off. So later the next morning, I went out and I looked, and I put the ladder up there to look, you know, because it was tall. And they didn't even crack the siding. And I say that because the little aluminum ladder I put up there cracked the brittle siding. I'm like, how are they hitting without leaving marks? And someone said it's a spiritual energy attack or something like that. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know how to explain that. But then you think about if they can hit without leaving marks, you think about the Diop Pass incident where a few of them were beat up pretty bad, but there was no external bruises. So if they can smack my car and beat up my house and not leave a mark, then why wouldn't they be able to do that to animals or people?
Well, you know what? I know when we had the close encounter at our research site with the tree knocking, which was only about 35, 40 yards in front of us, maybe 50 max. We went in that area because you can tell a lot from where sound is. If you can remember where sound came from, it's going to try and pinpoint you to an area of where there is things happening. We searched every tree possible in that area, and there were dozens of trees. We looked high, we looked low, we looked on trees standing, we looked on trees falling. I looked for a club, couldn't find anything. Big rocks that would maybe not fit in my hand, but fit in a Sasquatch hand. Whatever it took, we could not find anything. There was no indentations. There was no scattered bark from the trees. There was nothing. And it mystifies me because I know the area of where it happened. And there's about 30 trees fallen and standing in that area that could take that much blunt force, and we could not find it. And I was in the same boat as you, Blaine. So I understand exactly where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, I guess it's the new curve thing. Before you go back 10 years, it was all the cloaking and fading out and then portals and all that stuff. But I mean, if you know, they can leave handprints when they want. They touch a car or a window and leave their greasy handprints or a footprint. But being able to hit without leaving external damage, but you can cause like whatever the power of the hit can cause a house to shake, or can cause your car to almost feel like it's got moved over a little bit, or you can, like, even pounding away on the tin roof up there. I'm like, obviously they're heavier than me, and I leave indents and then eventually pops up, right? But oh wait, you know what? We're missing part of our roof, like the crown.
Yeah,
I think it got pulled up.
Yeah. I think they ripped off a piece when they were up there, because I had to cover it up years ago with just a piece of tin I found. Yeah, they ripped off the crown, the last 4 feet, right up there off our roof, and the piece was gone. It wasn't just thrown down on the ground. But yeah, they they went off with a piece of the roof, and then I had to cover up the crown of the roof. It's just some tin I had. I went up and I shaped it and put it on and everything like that. So they did do that damage. But I mean, as far as them pounding away, there should have been like lots of cracks and missing pieces on the siding of the power of that smack.
Right.
But again, this is how do you collect evidence on something that doesn't leave a mark, right? It just leaves a mystery on how they hurt something or how they, like I said, they impacted the house. But that's what I mean. Like you go back, 55 years, whatever it is now, the Delap Pass incident. No, wait, 205, might be even like 60 something years. And I mean, that was that attack on the hikers was way ahead of the curve, right? Before, Bigfoot documenting, and, they didn't have any audio. And that might have helped if they had some kind of recorder. Because what they don't bring up is infrasound attack. Sasquatch can do infrasound to scare people and make them all confused, like walking down in the snow away from their tent. So, I mean, I would have liked to discuss that, but they don't seem to want to embrace the fact that Sasquatch can do these things. And then
I want to ask you, have they ever left you, considering they know where you have this clan that knows where you live, obviously has been around your house, touched your house, investigated what you guys are doing through peering through windows. Have they ever brought you anything in a gifting manner?
I think some.
Not here. Not that.
Well, yeah. There's dead animals, like, or rat or a squirrel or something. We find it. We don't find it right away. We find it by the smell. Oh, there's something dead out there. And then we go out and right in a clearing, right below our trough where the grass doesn't grow for some reason, they'll leave like a dead squirrel or something. A dead squirrel just happened to die in a convenient location or something put it there. So the stuff like that. And then, like I said, the stick structures and stuff around the yard. Lisa's got an interesting story about when we're sitting on the deck. Remember, this happened for a couple afternoons in a row.
Yeah. So midsummer, hot, humid, no breeze. And we're just kind of sitting out there relaxing after cutting the grass. And I'm looking out by the yard and I can see one of the trees at the back, one of the branches is just doing this. And there's absolutely no breeze. Couldn't see anything there, just this branch moving. And I thought, okay, well, maybe it's.
We were both watching it.
Yeah. That was.
Yeah, something was moving the branch up and down. There was a juvie in a tree.
Like they're waving hello.
Or was playing with a branch. And I think there was, I don't know if you call it an adult, but they start breeding younger. I don't know what their age would be. But there was a bigger one hiding out in what's that vine thing that grows around the compost or around the fence? What kind of vine is that?
I don't know, but I don't.
Hellvine.
Hellvine.
Anyway, it was hiding out behind all the vines and vegetation while this little one was moving a branch around in a tree for 3 nights or evenings in a row, just playing with the branches and stuff, swaying the branches around while they're right up at the fence line. So, that was a few summers ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It took a while. At first, she didn't really want to believe because I think of the fear factor, which is, I think, a lot of it with people. They don't want to grip the idea that these beings are in the woods because they're scared. So it's easy for them to go about their daily lives without having to deal with that fear. When they want to go camping or whatever, hiking or walking, whatever. But like I said, I don't usually research around here, but it's nothing for them to find you.
Yeah. Once they tag you, that they follow you anywhere, like that incident at Algonquin.
Oh, the Algonquin incident. Okay. You want to tell that one?
That's your story. Yeah, you go.
Well, okay. Well, we were camping in Algonquin and we on the west end or the east end, and we went to the very far west end to the outdoor theater, which is like only like 2 or 3 clicks and 5 clicks inside the west gate. But we got there early, so she had a book, and I decided to. I'm going to go for a hike, and I went down. I went past the outdoor theater all the way down to a boat ramp. and then the sun was setting. I noticed there was what I took for a female on the other side of the river, and her and probably some juvies were hiding in the scrub brushes and all that, watching all the colorful canoers go by with the bright life vests and everything. And because the sun was setting behind her, I could see her outline. So she just kind of hunkered down a little bit, but I tried to communicate with her. It was pointless trying to take a picture because not only was the sun setting, it was reflecting off the lake, giving my camera the double whammy where the light was washing out everything. So I just tried to talk to her a little bit, and I obviously I didn't get any response back because they're kind of shocked. But so I went back to the outdoor theater. We watched the show. I guess it went till like 11 or so. We drove an hour or so back across the park, and then 20 minutes up a dirt road to the second campground. And so yeah, whatever. Did we have a fire that night? We might have had a little fire. Went to bed, and then she found me and woke me up outside my tent around 3 a.m.
But nobody else heard it. I didn't hear it. Kids didn't hear it.
Yeah, I think she hit me with mind speak.
Campers next door to us didn't hear a thing. It was pretty wild.
She hit me with mind speak, kind of a low bass scream, not like a scary one. Just woke me up.
Right.
But yeah, if you think about that, she found me on the other side of a park over, who knows, dozens of lakes, dozens of swamps, who knows how many rivers, and then right outside our tent. She was able to, wherever I guess she portaled in somewhere and then came right over, because they can mark you and find you just like how they can find me here. And she woke me up. So, so then I went outside, and it was a kind of a funny story, but I had to go to the washroom at the same time, or not long after she woke me up, but I think I inadvertently peed on her foot. Because I went to a dark area where people wouldn't see me going to other campers. And I think she was right over there behind the tree, and I might have accidentally peed on her foot. Well,
you marked her back.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. She didn't move her foot, but it was blacker than the rest of the ground because the ground was only gray and some grass, light brown grass. So I don't know, maybe that was a good thing. I don't know, but I wonder if it's the same female.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they can just go wherever they want, right?
Like you.
Yeah. So I've never talked about that because you get the jokers, they'll just go on and on about the peeing thing or catching them mating. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things I've seen and done that I don't talk about. I post some of the stuff, but a lot of it, as you know, you don't get a chance to capture it because it's just too sudden, right?
And most of the time it's fleeting. And I always laugh at the skeptics when they say, well, why didn't you take a picture? You got a camera on your phone. Why did you take a picture or video? Because by the time they don't understand that by the time your brain actually processes what your eyes are seeing, the moment is usually almost over at that moment. It's not like Bigfoot's going to be like, hey, how you doing? Do we have time for a photograph here? Do we have time for maybe a beer? Do you have an extra sausage roll there?
Yeah.
Right? It's not like that.
Well, I don't feed them though. I've never fed them.
We've gifted them though.
I gift like
pipe cleaners and little
sparkly
toys.
pipe cleaners and toys for the little ones and stuff. Maybe a stuffed toy, stuff like that.
None of my toys work.
No.
Just buy red stuff
They
at
like
the Dollarama.
Yeah. I buy red.
They seem to like the bright colors. But yeah, speaking of that, we've been doing I don't know how much time left before the break.
We have about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, so maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. But a couple of years ago, Lisa and I started what we call a cross Canada tour. We've been investigating all the well documented, well known sightings, videos, clips, and we're going to be doing a lot of that when we go out west next summer. Our cross Canada tour continues. But why don't you go ahead and talk about kiosk?
Kiosk. So a couple of years ago now, we went to Kiosk where that film was, what was it, Rick from Timisk?
Nick from
Timisk. They
Timisk.
videotaped with a GoPro attached to their bumper, a Sasquatch coming off the side of the road, kind of standing up. When we camped there, we tried to recreate and find the area. We're not sure if we found the exact spot.
Oh, I know where it is, but
Yeah.
we didn't film there just to kind of protect it. But all the ditches are the same. It was standing in a ditch eating raspberries, and Nick from Timisk or something like that.
I think it was Timisk.
Timisk, but he had a GoPro on his bumper. You know the one, the GoPro footage going by and is trying to hide in the shade. So we went up there and documented that.
But anyways, we pulled over to one of those spots that we thought was it, and it was kind of like a sandy side of the road. I can't think of the word right now. And we thought,
Just a
this
shoulder.
looks like thank you. This looks like a good spot. So we pulled over and we got walking around, and it had rained the night before, like downpour. And we could see like many different trackways. Like we had some 18 inchers.
Yeah, well, this is just up from the actual sighting, though.
Yeah,
Like within a kilometer of the actual spot where that was filmed, which is nothing to them. Basically, I looked for areas where they would leave tracks.
Mhm.
So we were driving on the one of the roads that go into this campground, and I said, "Oh, right here."
Yeah.
And I pulled over, and
Yeah,
within
definitely.
2 minutes, we were finding tracks of different sizes
Mhm.
in the sand. Not the best castable tracks, but I mean, we documented, we filmed them. We were thinking, should we cast them? But I've cast in sand before.
So,
All you end up with just an odd shape. It doesn't really collect unless it's wet, and it wasn't wet.
but we went back to the same site the next day, and it had rained again, and there was a whole bunch of new tracks.
Fresh tracks, fresh adult tracks with like an 8-foot stride going up in the embankment. About an 8-foot stride.
Yeah.
Those were what, 18s?
I think so, yeah.
18-inch. She just crossed the road where we were the night before. We went out on our night investigation. I have an infrared camera and stuff like that. But we went out on a night investigation, and I'll let you tell that one. And we found fresh tracks, and we actually found something that looked like a dogman print too. Really bizarro print.
Mhm.
So we documented that, but we knew they were there watching us, so we didn't disturb them because we knew we were going back at night to do night research.
Yeah.
So we didn't disturb the prints, and we just pictures and my knife down beside it to get a scale, and then we'd we'd measure off the strides and stuff like that, but we didn't disturb them.
Yeah.
And then we went back at night. Do you want me to tell the night one or? Well, we were back at night, and she was using the infrared camera. And how are we doing for time?
We got about a minute and a half.
Okay. I don't know. Can I squeeze this in?
I don't know. Talk fast.
Well, so we were there at night. We knew they were right there across the road. Lisa thinks they're on our side too. So, we just kind of hung out with them. We didn't really have, other than the audio and they can see the infrared lights. But on the way back to the campsite, they were paralleling us. There was one ahead of us.
In the car.
We were going slow, windows down. And this raccoon crossed in front of us. We were going slow, so it was easy enough for him to get. But a Sasquatch or something that can break branches threw a fit that it got away from it on my left. Started breaking branches and throwing them around. Branches, that thick, because its prey got away from it because of it used us as to get away from it. So that happened after the night investigation at the kiosk, Algonquin Park, Sasquatch, the northwest corner. So that was pretty cool. I've never had that before, where they're breaking branches and throwing fits because their dinner got away.
On that note, I'm going to get you guys to hold on right there. We're going to continue with the very interesting conversation about Sasquatch out of the province of Ontario. Blaine and Lisa Tyler are here tonight, and I'm loving their stories. I hope you are too. We got another hour of it coming right up. This is Spaced Out Radio with host Dave Scott. All right, guys, we are clear. Hi, Jaquetta. How are you? Anybody else jumping in here that I'd missed? All right, we are good there. Guys, I'm going to put you back in the green room. I'm going to take a quick break here. I'll be right back, okay?
All right.
All right. Be right back, everybody. Here is my schedule coming up for appearances, so make sure you check it on out. I think the Vegas one is going to be changing soon, so I'll let you know. Old Davey is back. All right, we got about a minute to go here, and big thank you to T-Bone for being our lone super chatter of the night. I know it's lonely, T-Bone, but you know what? We do care. Well, he's times 2, actually. Oh, Trucker Andrew's jumped in now. Trucker Andrew has jumped in now as well. So thank you. T-Bone times 2 and Trucker Andrew. We appreciate you, buddy. Can't wait to see you in Nebraska for the Bigfoot conference again. And what else we got here? Got a few questions coming up. And our store is open on our website, spacedoutradio.com. And no ugly swag there. Couple of plethora, so that makes it plethoras for jewels there. Here we go, everybody. Here we go with hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. We are having a great night with Blaine and Lisa Tyler talking Sasquatch in Ontario. Yes, they're there, my friends, my Canadian friends listening in on Saga 960 in Mississauga, Ontario. Jody and the crew, you have Sasquatches just north of you. Yeah, they're right there in the forest. You may not believe it, but next time you go camping or go into cottage country, they could be there. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Temporis. Temporis is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. We have Blaine and Lisa Tyler. They are searching for Sasquatch. They have plenty of evidence, from footprints to strange tracks to other places that just don't seem to add up when it comes to regular animals walking through.
Okay.
And Lisa, we thank you for coming on in. We're just going to wait for Blair to rejoin us. I think he went. He went.
Oh, up there.
His,
Should have said
We are.
or I could have told you.
Okay. This is baby prints, 3 inches.
so for our radio audience, what are you holding in your hand?
A couple of casts of 3-inch, or one's a 5. I don't know if that's 5, but 3-inch baby cast from a trackway at the Sasquatch Dunes.
No, that one's
Barn
Dunes.
Trail. Oh, Barn Trail. Oh, this is a different one.
This one's from Kiosk.
Oh, 2014.
Yeah.
2014.
Oh, where'd the other one go?
I don't know. There's a pair. I don't know. I got so many. But yeah, so this is from the dunes. I used to find the little juvie trackways at the dunes, and then this is from near the actual Bigfoot barn, where I called my show, where I had a lot of encounters, and occasionally I get a print and cast it and stuff like that. But that's why I left. I went to get some actual cast to show you.
Yeah. I thought these were the ones that we took at Kiosk because we had all different sizes there. But when we were there we didn't do any casts. We were just measuring. And Blaine was taking some photos, and there's a picture of me kind of standing by one of the prints. And in the background of the photo, you can see a juvie hiding behind a bush watching us.
So
that's pretty neat.
Are we live on here?
I don't know.
So anyway, yeah, I got pictures of them at the kiosk. The famous Algonquin ditch one, and then I got pictures of them there watching us, and I actually got a picture of a big one watching us hike. tried to hide behind a skinny tree, but it was like 4 feet wide, so it couldn't do it. So
and then we got photos when we were at Barron Canyon.
Yeah.
Across the canyon where you can see them. Like if you zoom in, you can see them watching us and watching everybody.
No, go ahead.
No,
but
you go.
last summer we did an important investigation, the 20th anniversary of the Beast of Seven Chutes in St. George, Quebec.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead, Lisa?
Yeah. So we drove on up there to Seven Chutes Park, and we did some different kind of investigation. It was a really dry summer, so we kind of tried to locate from photos where on the trail that picture was taken, like by what chute it was, and we found it. And interestingly enough, like a little lookout there area was closed.
Yeah, it's closed off.
They closed it. There was nothing wrong with it. It was structurally sound, but they
Right.
had it closed off for some reason.
Yeah.
So, well, when we were there, I mean, we checked out the trails. We checked out the riverbed was completely dry in some areas, so we were able to go off trail and go down to the riverbed. And Blaine, why don't you tell?
Well, I went down there.
Why don't you tell them what you found?
Well, first of all, before should we talk about the trackway? We found a trackway. T-Bone was mentioning about oily residue. Yeah, we found a trackway really close to the where the subject, the Beast of Seven Chutes, was, where it stepped on rocks to cross like a creek and left its oily footprints.
On the rock.
I don't know, but nobody else was putting the two and two together, but obviously we did.
Because it looked like a wet rock. Like
a wet footprint that
on a
didn't
rock.
dry up because it was oily.
It
And it stepped on a couple rocks to cross a creek, and the prints were there like all day long. And then the next day it was still there, the oily residue print on a flat rock. And then we followed the trail of it, and we found some more in the mud and everything going up the hill. And we documented all that.
But we couldn't we couldn't lift any actual oily residue off the rock to see.
No, it was just, there wasn't like something that you could gather up with it was just whatever in the pores of the rock you could see where, and something that had oil residue stepped on the rock in a big wide footprint, much wider than anybody else. And I don't know, nobody else.
There were tree breaks all around.
Yeah, there were tree breaks and arches.
Like big logs that you could tell what tree it came from.
Yeah.
And it wasn't where it would be expected to fall. It was in a completely different area. So something had to have moved it.
Well, I'm surprised they even left the print, because there was this huge tree across the creek that they could just run across and not leave a print. But I guess one just wanted to take the shortcut, stepping on the rocks, and left a really nice, we filmed it, a really nice oily print.
Mm-hmm.
But I went down to the riverbed, and there's several creeks and riverbeds in there. But I went down to the riverbed, and basically, I don't know, 20 yards away from where the creature stood from the picture, but on the river, from the river angle, like right across, I'm on the top of the chute, right behind it to its left. When the guy took the picture, Larry took the picture of the chute, and it was down on his right, looking up at him. So I'm just to the left of that, but on the top of the chute, because it's all dry, right? It's all it hasn't rained in months, and the water going over. You could jump over it, and maybe you get a little bit of a soaker and stuff. You don't mind maybe wiping out, but you couldn't stand over there. It's all overgrown and stuff where that was taken. But I found something really fascinating. I found what looks to be a Sasquatch fossil print.
Oh, wow.
A fossil print of a Sasquatch, 18-inch by 9 in the rock, that would have been normally covered up, but because the river was so dry, there was a print on the side of the river in the hard sediment, or whatever kind of rock it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it even has like the the mid-tarsal break, and and on the part of the foot where back by the ankle where it bulges out. The toes have all blended in at the top, but you can see where some of the toes were. It was about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch deep in different areas. But yeah, a fossil Sasquatch print from the Beast of Seven Chutes, 20, 25 or so, 30 yards away from where that subject was filmed in the rock of the riverbed. So, I mean, I guess it takes like 20,000 years or something like that for a fossil print to develop or something. I'm not knowledgeable on it, and I'm gaining more information about it, but
there's nobody to send it to see.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it can't be coincidence that it's a foot shape with toes raised in the middle mid-tarsal, and it's even got the wide heel with the bulge at the ankle. So yeah, a fossil print. So I don't know if anybody else has ever come across that. Have you heard anybody else coming across a Sasquatch fossil print?
I've never heard that before. That's interesting to me.
So yeah, we documented that. We went out at night there. I got pictures of them on the ridge watching us. Not at night. I knew where they would be. So it's just instinct, right? I know what they like. They always like cover, right? But they cover with a vantage point of the human activity, right? So yeah, so we were out at night there and at the Beast of Seven Chutes, and we were watching them, and they were watching us from. They were up on a ledge, or I guess not a ledge, but
it's like a ridge.
Yeah, they were on a ridge above us, on the I guess south of us, and we were there with our night equipment and the audio and stuff like that. But we did that documenting. We found the oily trackway, like we said. Something else that's really important. I don't think anybody else has mentioned this about the Beast of Seven Chutes. Is that thing took a dog either from a hiker or someone's backyard, because there's the housing. You could literally, the park's designed to go kind of east to west, right? But north to south, it's not that wide. I mean, if you go all the way to the south across creeks and stuff, but the north part, you could walk for 20 minutes and be at the fence line of someone's backyard. So I think that thing just scooped that white dog either got away from a hiker or took it out of someone's backyard and was crossing the river, the creek, or going for a safe place to enjoy its meal, or maybe going to get across the river there to where it's deeper and more dense going south, because that part is narrow. But I don't know if no one's ever investigated that before, where he snagged that white dog-looking thing and it's in the hook of his arm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he took it from someone's backyard.
I've never really heard of a Sasquatch taking a dog before.
Well, there's a dog man. There's a gugwe.
Yeah, gugwe. I've heard doing it.
Yeah, it's a gugwe with a snout, and it has a large white poodle thing in its arm, and I think the neck's broken on it or something like that. But
it could also have been from people visiting the park, because it's like a day use park. There's no camping there, and they have, like, when you get there, there's like a big play area. There's a swimming pool and all that other stuff. So you see a lot of families there with their pets. You know, who knows if the thing just took off on them and it just got snatched up, or.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, that's possible. I think he grabbed it from someone's backyard, because if you're walking with your dog in a public park, you're going to have it on a runner or a long leash. And if something happens to it, you're going to hear it yip, and then you're going to see this thing. There's going to be a big commotion. What wouldn't cause a commotion is scooping this thing up, running around at someone's backyard that the owner's not paying attention.
That's true.
Now, here's the other important thing about that. It had to cross several public trails to get to the river with that dog. So it must have been in and out of cover, wait for clearing, cross another one, and then go down the steep, more than 45 degrees. That's why I didn't go. I would have had to use a rope to get down there. But what's the point? You wouldn't have been able to see me down at the the north side of the river where the picture was taking. So it grabbed the dog and then crossed at least 3, maybe 4 public hiking trails to get to the river before the picture was taken. And so, I was thinking if you would have scooped someone's dog, someone would have seen it. But yeah, I mean, I think he grabbed it out of someone's backyard and then just made its way and heading towards a little bit more dense cover over on the area. We came down on the south side of the embankment to get into the river. And the south side is a lot wider, but there's no trails. There's only like one. And that trail was closed off too. We went under the fencing. The trail closed. They boarded it all up all around where where this all happened 20 years ago, 20th anniversary. And all the trails around where the Gugwe Dogman was filmed are all boarded up and trail closed, but we ducked underneath them. And that's where we started finding all this evidence behind the closed trails and stuff. So that's an interesting fact there that they closed all that up. And that's where trackways and broken branches and archways were being discovered right in the middle of a busy park.
Busy. There were a lot of people there.
I want to get to some audience.
Travel there for this park. It's a big tourist destination.
I want to get to some audience questions here, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And let's start off with William Arthur here. Have you ever found any upside down trees?
You would see that before I was.
Trying to remember. Small ones, maybe. Small ones that I didn't really take as a big sign at the time. I've seen them rip apart trees where I was going, and I took that as, okay, they don't want me here. Stuff like that, where they broke trees in half and laid across trails, but also kind of tried to block me or block whoever from getting going further down the trail. No, because where I go, there's lots of not public, but there's lots of hunters, right? So, I go in there before and after hunting season. I've actually been in there during hunting season, which is stupid, and then had to duck around hunters. But no, not like big trees that you could obviously, okay, that's not natural. But smaller ones, they were like, what, did that break off and then somewhere and then do a nosedive into the dirt? Or, you know what I mean? Not something like up in Alaska where it's like a 4-foot wide trunk shoved into the ground upside down. Not something so obvious, but we don't have trees that size here generally where we are.
Yeah, I haven't noticed it in my area, but then again, it could have happened. Like my area has a lot of fallen trees, but nothing that looks suspicious or snapped. Our forests, they get a lot of wind during the winters. And, for a lot of these unhealthy trees, they just fall over. So, is it Sasquatch pushing them down? I don't think so, but maybe an older one. I haven't seen any turned upside down yet. I would love to see that. I think that would be completely interesting, but geez, man.
I might want to see that from a distance though.
Right.
Because that's
Mama
definitely
Catherine
a display of territorial behavior that they get out.
Mama Catherine would like to know, what do they eat, in your opinion?
Everything.
They like compost.
Anything a bear can eat, which is omnivore, they eat. Anything from the top of the food chain, whatever, bears, moose, right down to rabbits and strays. whatever else they can get a hold of. Obviously, fish, a lot of berries and certain leaves and stuff like that, even bark. If you are looking to find an area, just use a topo map. And they always seem to like to have water nearby, not necessarily right on water, but you can catch them going to get water. But Ontario, Dr. Bindernagle was saying Ontario is so rich with resources. It's no wonder there was an uptick in lots of activity. And at the time, researchers and stuff like that in the area getting evidence. And then our winters aren't so bad here. I mean, this year was a heavy winter, but our winters aren't so bad here that they don't really have to migrate at all to get away from like the heavy areas. I mean, whatever a bear can eat, plus it's got the stealth and the ability to basically take down whatever animal it wants. I mean, they don't have a problem. The deer get thinned out pretty quick. And I remember talking to hunters, and they say, "You ever wonder where the deer's all going?" You sit in your, normally there should be like a dozen deer going by during the day, and there's only like 2. And after I did an investigation at a hunting camp, and so I scared the bejesus out of them, showing them pictures of Sasquatch standing behind hunting blinds, like 20 yards behind, maybe waiting for them to get steal a kill or something. But they just, with their stealth ability, they just go wherever they want, and they can take what they want. I mean, beaver, whatever, and all the swamps, fish. Yeah. So here anyway, I mean, other areas, they'd have to adapt to the local terrain and what's available. But just like out where you are, Dave, there's lots of elk and stuff like that. They're not going to starve out there either. Then you got salmon, you got all that fish, all those large and medium-sized mammals. So
I would love to see how they trap the rabbits.
Oh, really?
That's what I would like to see.
They're probably just throw rocks.
Are your cats interested in the dead gifts that they leave for you?
Our cats don't go outside, so I don't know. They stay in.
I'm surprised some of them haven't made their appearance. We got a younger one we just adopted for Christmas. They're usually climbing all over us.
One of them knocked the boxes down.
Yeah. But they already, before the show started, they were already in here investigating the table and everything, and then now they're all napping again. But no, the cats get spooked by them though. I've seen them acting strange, and they go off and they go to an area where there's no windows or something, and then I know, right? So they've been all around the house peeking, tapping. And then we talked about some of the more aggressive stuff. They probably watch us when we're having campfires and stuff. So, I got pictures of eye shine and that. But like I said, I try not to research here. Not that it makes a difference.
But I was just thinking about something with the cats. One of our cats was feral. And I remember there one time that we accidentally left our screen door open, and he went outside, took a few steps on the deck, and then completely changed his mind and came back inside. So I don't know if maybe he remembered something or seen something, but he was feral. Like, we couldn't get near him. He just kind of came in. Yeah, he
came back inside to safety. Actually, our shepherd, Roddy, that I used to take out Sam, she'd go out on the deck, and then she wouldn't leave the deck to go to the washroom. Mm-hmm. She'd look around the yard. She's a pretty brave dog, but she wouldn't go off the deck.
Yeah,
she'd just go wash them within 2 or 3 or 3 feet of the patio door. And then she'd want right back in instead of bombing around like she normally would. So
that's not the first time I've heard that happen. Mm-hmm. There was a trapper up here, a retired trapper. He had a pair of giant, big Rottweiler dogs on his property. And he had said, those dogs have been face to face with grizzly bears, black bears, mountain lions, wolf packs, and even at times a Sasquatch in the area. He said, but whatever was in my yard that night, those dogs wet themselves and crap themselves all over the patio. They would not go down that stairwell. Yeah. Blaine Tyler, Lisa Tyler, we got them for another 30 minutes on Spaced Out Radio. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott. All right, guys, we're clear.
Okay.
Yeah, we have. So in my area, if I go, like I'm facing southwest right now, that's all like Sasquatch territory. Behind me, the mountain range behind me, which is right before the Rockies.
What's that called?
I don't know what the mountain range. It's called the Timothy Mountain Range. That's what the locals call it. But that's where the dogmen and the Sasquatch have been seen in there.
Well, I might be out that way. We're hoping to get all the way out there. We'll talk about this when we come back. Our little cross-country tour. We're going to be making stops along the way in some of the classic ones, but especially Alberta and BC. You're at 100 Mile House, right?
Yeah.
How big is that? What's the
Maybe
population?
2,500 people.
2,500?
Hey, we finally got a McDonald's.
Hey!
And I heard word today that Wendy's has bought land up here.
Nice.
Oh.
No Walmart, though, right?
No Walmart. No.
No Walmart.
We don't even have a Canadian Tire.
What's the closest Walmart to you? Down in Kamloops or something?
No, north in Williams Lake.
Williams Lake. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we haven't really charted. It started to look a little bit. We don't know how far we're going to be able to drive every day because we want to be able to see just in case I spot something while we're driving. Right, pull over.
Yeah.
And
Well,
also,
if
you don't want to.
if you come through the canyon, say from the lower mainland, come through the canyon, there's really nothing to see, and like it's so mountainous in there. There's nothing that you can really pull over and say, "Hey, hold on, is that a track or something along those lines?"
Right.
The only place you'd really do that is in Yale. So Yale is about 20 kilometers north of Hope.
Right.
And so Yale is where Jacko the child Sasquatch was caught in the 1800s.
Right.
I actually have had, before you pull into Yale, there is a rest stop there. And for some reason, my bladder knows when I'm about to enter that rest stop.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Well, that's
so
good to know.
I have had 2 encounters there at that rest stop. One, I saw I was on the phone with Nicole Sasquatch twice when this happened. Once I heard a tree knock way up on the hill because it's a real steep hill on the other side. And I heard a tree knock up that hill. And then the time before that, I swear to God, I was looking, and it was only, once again, one of those fleeting sights that there was a shadow Sasquatch standing in the middle of the highway in the classic pose. And then, you kind of do your double take and it's gone. And I was like, you got to be kidding me right now.
What time of day was that?
It was about 1:00 in the morning.
Oh, right. So it was crossing.
Yeah.
And then was gone. Yeah. Well, we're going to try and hit those. That's what I was going to maybe, if you want this last half hour, we're going to talk about maybe if you want to talk about some of those spots we're going to hit. But
we will. I do want to get to a couple more audience.
Yeah, after the questions and stuff. Sure.
Yeah. And we'll wrap it up with that for sure. For sure. But yeah, I mean, if we're only about 3.5 hours north of Hope. And literally, I will tell you from Hope to my house, 1, 2, is 4 turns. 4 turn signals. Stay on the highway until you get to the gas station and hang a left.
Well, we'll let you know when we're in the area. Yeah. So we're gonna upgrade my camera for this trip. I should have did it sooner. But I was documenting prints and stuff. I didn't need one, but I wanted something with a better zoom for the mountains and stuff like that. When we go out there.
We have
about
50
seconds. You ever go to Ruby Creek? The Chapman House.
Yeah. We got 10 seconds. Thank you, T-Bone times 2, Trucker Andrew, and Benno for the super chats. Here we go, everybody.
When you see our avatar.
Here we go with the second half of Spaced Out Radio. We're still talking Bigfoot. My name is Dave Scott. We're going to have a great time in this next half hour, taking some audience questions with Blaine and Lisa Tyler. And we want to remind you that our archives are free all over YouTube and every major podcast network. Website, spacedoutradio.com. There's a plethora of features for you there. So go check them on out, including our store. And you can also check out CaribouCon.com. Just click on the link to CaribouCon on our website. We'd love to see you up here for that great event in September in the heartland of British Columbia here. So check it on out. Let's get to Blaine and Lisa Tyler, Sasquatch researchers in the beautiful province of Ontario. We're taking some audience questions. Jaquetta is asking, have you ever seen Sasquatch scat? And is it like the scat that Dave found? I haven't told you this story yet because I knew this was going to come up.
Well, I don't know. I have. I've come across it. I think I have anyway. I've collected it and stuff like that, but it's like $500 American to get it analyzed in the States somewhere at Dr. Melton's Ketchum lab or something like that. But I've come across it. In fact, one of the investigations I did, there was I was contacted by hunters because they were scared. And of course, they didn't act scared, but you could tell that something started screaming louder than their generator outside their cabin, was drowning out their generator. And then I don't know if it was before or after. I had to look it up, but there was a pile of scat about 3 feet wide and a couple feet high that some giant male left intentionally to I don't know, maybe mark the area or something. But so here's all these hunters with their big guns for killing moose and everything else. And they're scared to go out to their outhouse because the big old Sasquatch out there leaving scat piles as high as a tire.
It's funny. Ours was a little bit different. Ours looked like it had a little bit of section that was like humanoid type logs.
Yeah.
But then it also had like little charcoal briquettes. Okay. Like horse pucks. Okay. And it's funny because our area is filled with hunters. Okay. Like people out here, I'm still an amateur when it comes to the wilderness. I'm still learning, but I have shown that picture to people who've been in the forest for 50, 60 years. They can't recognize it. And I even took my buddy Mark out there. Mark is just somebody I learned. He's like my encyclopedia for the forest. He's been a hunting guide. He's been a animal trapper, animal tracker. We're talking big game when I say that, like wolves and mountain lions. And he's been face to face with grizzly bears and moose and a lot of big game. And when I showed him, as we walked into where this set of droppings were, he immediately said, "Oh, that's horse," or "That's bear." He said bear, pardon me. And then he realized that whatever it was tucked its butt into some shrubs. Animals don't tuck their butts into shrubs. They just go wherever they feel like it.
Yeah, sometimes just most of the time while they're walking.
And then when he started looking at it, he's like, "This isn't bear." He goes, "I don't know what this is. I really don't." And the funny part about it is I went back 2 months later to show another person where this scat was. And we do have samples, by the way. We just haven't got them out to a scientist yet. It still hadn't decomposed. Every other piece of feces that you found on the ground whether it was coyote or mountain lion or moose or deer or even bear, you could see the decomposition happening, but this had not decomposed.
Did it have hair in it?
It did not have any hair in it. One of the pieces, a couple of the pieces that we broke up, it had like pine nuts in it,
Right.
and a lot of grass being eaten, like fern and all sorts of plant foraging. No flies around it either.
How big a stock was it?
It was kind of a little bit of a mess. Like it wasn't a stack at all. It was like spread out.
Oh,
Yeah. It was pretty incredible, to be blunt. I mean, it didn't look it looked out of place, to be blunt.
right.
It looked totally out of place. Like it shouldn't have been there. And I don't know really how else to talk about it. I mean, I don't make it a living talking about crap. You know? I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was that in a remote area that you found that, Dave?
yes.
Okay.
So
Because I know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I wonder, like you said, it didn't decompose. Like I know they will hang out near like rest stops along the highway and go through the dumpsters. And most of the rest stops have fast food joints. So I'm wondering if they're eating whatever's in there that
doesn't
decompose very well.
Actually, I filmed one. One of Duke from World Bigfoot. One of his favorite footages of mine is I filmed a big gray one walking through a gap in the trees. It was in behind a restaurant. You know, they're putting out the smell of the burgers and stuff like that. And then I guess they use bear proof dumpsters, but not Sasquatch proof.
Yeah.
They can reach in and squeeze the handle and lift it up.
Yeah.
So that's when I just got out of the hospital, so I couldn't go anywhere else. So I'm filming from my car. And so if it's getting after the fake food from the fast joints, then it probably some of it wouldn't decompose.
Yeah.
absolutely. My place is about 34 kilometers into the forest. 35 kilometers into the forest.
Like up a logging road?
It's off a logging road, yeah.
Yeah. No. So I don't know. Maybe, like I said, we caught them rummaging through ours, our compost. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe their dietary system's different.
Yeah.
Well,
if they're omnivores, they're going to eat what they can get. And I mean, if something's hungry enough, it's going to eat something that's got meat drippings on it, right?
Well, the funny part about this story is the week before we found the scat, we heard my research buddy and I, Tim, we were sitting on our lawn chairs. We had stopped filming because it always happens when you stop filming. Okay. I guess the new fandangled word would be recording. Okay. Like we'd stopped the GoPro, we had stopped our cameras, and we were getting ready to set up our trail cams. It was night number 1 that we put trail cams out. But we figured we had built enough trust over the last 12, 14 weeks where we could actually put trail cams out. And so we're fiddling around with the trail cams, and about 35 yards in front of us in the dense bush, whatever it was starts farting in the forest.
Nice.
And I look over at Tim, and I used some profanity when I said it, but I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, seriously, are you kidding me right? What is going on? And Tim and I just start laughing, right? Not even thinking of recording at that moment. And that's what we're out there for, is to record this stuff.
Yeah.
Not even thinking about hitting record. I'll tell you, we kicked our butts after that, saying like, how stupid were we not to be rolling at that time?
I've missed out on stuff like that too. Just get out of the car, the doors closes, you're looking, you're starting to gear up, and then you hear, like, I've heard some beautiful, perfect whoops from across the marsh and stuff like that. When like, oh really? Give me 10 seconds to turn stuff on, because I turn it on, but then I gear it up on my shoulders or wherever I'm going to be carrying it on, and you miss out. Like I missed out on screams, and I missed out on them. Okay, Bigfoot talks, Sasquatch talks Bigfoot language, or the other way around, where they followed me right back to my car, and I thought the day was over, and then they started talking to me right like through the window, and I'm like, I just turned my audio off, and then I'm scrambling to get it on, but show was over. But yeah, I've missed out on stuff like that too, where, I mean, I guess you can turn it on before you get out of your car and stuff, but it's not always possible to have yourself all geared up, because you need to get out and grab equipment out of the trunk and all that. But yeah, I've missed out on a lot, especially, like I said, I would have liked to record the vocalization. The one with the car where they followed me back, I found prints on an embankment. I went snooping in the bush, and then, whatever. And then I went back to the car, got in the car, and I was just, maybe I was using the topo map or something. And then right beside the car, they started speaking to me, but it wasn't English. It was that whispery talk, like from the Udima Res kind of stuff. I probably didn't say that right, but like that right beside, like ghost talk almost, right beside me. And you wouldn't even have to worry about how loud it was, because it was like 2 feet away from my car window. So, but yeah, I already geared down, thinking, okay, time to go to another spot, save the batteries, whatever, right? And then, yeah, and I think they can see when the energy of the recording devices is off, because I've had that happen when I'm hiking, GoPros and stuff. As soon as you turn them off or switching batteries, they give you something. And then as soon as they're back running, whatever the energy, whatever, they can sense the energy, they don't give you anything. So I think that has something to do with it, because it happens far too often. As soon as you shut down or before you fire up, that they give you something, and then when everything's running, they go silent.
Oh, I fully agree with you on that. And look, I also believe that there are times when you have to have those intimate moments with it, with the creature, where you're just like, okay, there's no technology. It's just you and me. Let's just have a conversation. I want you to hear me and why this is important to me, or you spiritually pray to it, or just try to telepathically communicate with it. You just put everything down and just allow the forest to kind of take you with it. We've done that in our area. We never really go into the trees when that happens, because the problem with our area is you never know what's on a trail.
Right.
In the last,
well, you got dangerous predators out there.
Yeah, like
we have cougars here, but that's about it. Or black bears. Someone mentioned black bears earlier, but they hunt them, or they're pretty scarce where we are. Maybe if we were really far northern Ontario, where they're more of a predator, then sure, yeah, we'd have to worry about black bears. But
coyotes probably.
We've had at our spot, we've had grizzly bear tracks, moose tracks, black bear tracks. Our first night of filming that we did there, like 3 minutes after we put our pointy sticks away and locked them up in the vehicle, I saw a cougar run across the trail. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere, and you have to know your environment. And like a lot of people in the Sasquatch world will be like, well, damn, Dave, you shouldn't go into the forest with your pointy sticks. Sasquatch doesn't like the pointy sticks. Well, I'm not worried about Sasquatch. I'm worried about a grizzly bear upset because her cubs are about 30 feet away, and I haven't seen them, but she's seen me. I'm worried about a hungry mountain lion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about a wolf pack all of a sudden coming out of nowhere, or a bull moose that's 1,500 pounds all of a sudden saying, "Hey, what are you doing on my trail?" I'm
Right.
worried about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can talk about our
No,
cross cannery tour. You can talk about that.
Okay.
Well, yeah, well, I've run into the moose and stuff. Actually, the moose is probably the most dangerous thing you have to worry about.
Absolutely.
Is they just take you as a threat if you're too close and charge. I've been really close to bull moose. So yeah, I mean, the bear, if you catch them off guard, maybe do you hang around in the car first before you get out?
The first thing we do, and we only got about 8 minutes left. The first thing that we do when we get out of our vehicle, we park in the exact same spot every time. We do everything the same. Before we bring out any gear whatsoever, I get out of the vehicle. We light tobacco as a peace offering. And then very loudly, I will say, "Hey, everybody, if you remember me, I'm Dave. This is Tim," or whoever is with me. And we are here to enjoy your nature and to try and connect with the Sasquatch, the spirits, the UFOs, the aliens that may be here. We come in peace, peace, love, and light. And I give this entire speech about this. And then I do say to them, we are armed. However, we will not raise to the Sasquatch or the spirits or the UFOs, aliens, because we've had it all there. We will not raise this pointy stick to you. And then I will ask, and I don't know why, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but so far so good. I will say to all the predatory animals in the area, and I'll list them all off. Okay, could you please back away and give us our space? We don't want to run into you. We don't want to harm you. We don't want you harming us. We mean no harm, but we will defend ourselves against you. We don't want to hurt you. So please give us our space, and we will respect your space as well. So we go through this speech. I don't know if it works. I'm going to assume that it works because it has so far. Right?
Well, I don't know. Well, we can test that. Our cross-country tour continues this summer. We're going west. We're going to try to hook up with you. We're going to do some of the classic. I'm going to go investigate at some of the classic Bigfoot encounter stories, reports, some of the newer ones where there's footage and stuff like that. We're going to work our way from kind of like a Bigfoot tour, tourism. So we don't care about Banff and all that. I do want to pop into Jasper, take that way up there because that's where I had one of my encounters up there. But other than that, we're going to go over to Bighorn Dam. I'm going to investigate that. Harrison Hot Springs in that area. Yale, Ruby Creek area, the Chapmans. I'm going to go snooping around there. And I've been pretty lucky. Everywhere I go, I end up coming back with pictures and prints and stuff like that. So hopefully that continues next summer when we head out that way at the end of July. So I'm hoping to run into you and maybe anybody else that's going to be out in that area. If they want to hook up or something like that, just get a hold of Dave at his house.
Hey, the door is open for you guys.
But anyway, yeah, I know we're going to come out and we're going to be doing that. But I like to do it in secret because then I get more, I collect more evidence. So, but I'm usually by myself with just a hunting knife. But Lisa comes with me, so we stay more in safer areas, like on the trails and that. But you don't need to go wandering through the woods. They come to you if they're interested. So
agreed.
Yeah, I've never had to. I mean, I was kind of too aggressive when I first started out, walking right up to their shelters and stuff like that. And I'm lucky to still be here. I probably should have been. They probably should have threw a rock at me or something. But I'm a lot more laid back, and we got, like I said earlier, we got better internet now. I finally put a tower up so I can post more and do more of these shows. But yeah, anything you want to cover? Any more about Beast of Seven Shoots that you want to cover?
Well, let me get in another question here.
Oh yeah, any questions from the audience?
We got about 3.5 minutes here. Marv wants to know: have you ever seen portals being used?
Yeah. Well, I've seen like before I knew what they were, I seen these weird black shapes kind of fade in and out. But then my trail cam right out here caught one come start up, fire up, and I got like I have to find those pictures. I got like 7 or 8 shots of the same thing, but I didn't know what it was at the time until I studied it. And the portal opened up, and then something must have been moving to trigger the trail cam. But like I said earlier, that I didn't know it was a portal until part of my house was missing from whatever was coming through the portal. Was, you know, the energy of the portal was blocking out the view of the part of the view of the house. So yeah, I mean, yes and no. I've seen them, but I didn't know what to make of it other than a weird dark area. But this is before it was a common thing, right? Just like cloaking. I'm one of the first people to talk about that, and then Dr. Bindernagel referred to it as ethereal transition way back like 10, 12 years ago. Oh, I guess so. Maybe even a little bit before that when I started communicating with them. But yeah, I guess I've seen it and documented it, but I don't know. Once they see you watching them, then they'll fade out and it'll go away.
That's very interesting, friend. Very interesting. Let's go to one more final question. This one comes from T-Bone. Any of what you are doing, have you ever talked to any Canadian forestry workers about if they've seen anything?
We'll talk about the girl we ran into.
Well, yeah, there's one place that we go that we don't really investigate there because we like to hike there a lot. But we ran into a girl that worked for Parks Canada, and she was just kind of scouting out the trail because she was going to be leading a group of people through the next day. And Blaine started talking to her about Sasquatch and kind of freaked her out a little bit because she's realizing that, you know, sometimes she'd hear these noises in the bush.
Well, she said it felt like something was following her, but she couldn't see it. So I said, well, it's probably a Sasquatch. And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah. She's making fun of it. And then I said, well, no, we found last summer or summer before, we found 2 trackways on the north end of the park, 14 and a 20-inch in the soft moss. Like, you know, that wasn't consistent because they step on rock. And then we started giving her examples of what to look for. And I said, oh, yeah, I've actually gotten pictures of them across the lake watching people hike right here. So I said, oh, you're freaking me out. And
she was by herself.
But anyway, so like I'm sure the forestry workers have had some weird stuff.
But sorry to interrupt. Anytime we've talked to them, they either laugh it off, and that's usually like the summertime staff that will laugh it off at campgrounds and stuff. But anything like if you go to Algonquin Park and they have the board where you can sign in what wildlife you've seen, if you even mention it, they shut you down.
Oh, they hide it. And well, they laugh it off until I show them a picture or something from their own park.
We don't want to know. Don't do anything.
All right, guys, we have to wrap this up. But Blaine and Lisa Tyler coming back on Spaced Out Radio. We have so much fun with you guys. Thank you very, very much for joining us tonight. Coming up next on Spaced Out Radio, we have Swamp Dweller. Then the Wizard has a jam-packed UFO report.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
All right, guys, thank you very, very much. It's always a pleasure, my friends. And let me know. The door is open if you guys make your way up here, okay?
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, we just don't know. I know he said the weekends are better, but
We'll
you
figure it
know, if we were young, we'd know how far we could drive. But you know, after 6 hours in the car, you start rubbing your back and need to get out and stretch. So we're gonna try to put at least 8-10 on the car every day.
Yeah.
Maybe when we get into the prairies and there's nothing to see, we might drive more through the night.
Yeah.
But because Ontario, we're going into northern and northwestern Ontario, it's rich country up there for activities. So we're not going to rush too much. But yeah, that was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Kicked out another one.
All right, guys.
Is Robin still doing stuff there with you on?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Every Tuesday night. So
All right,
guys, I got to run.
Hey.
Much love. Take care.
We'll catch you again, Dave. See you in the summer.
Yes, I can't wait. Blair and Lisa Tyler, everybody. All right. I'm going to put my schedule up. We'll be right back, everyone. All right, guys, let's get ready and bring in the wizard. All right, there he is. The wizard, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dave. Doing great. Are you feeling better?
My stomach's still a little rough, but I'm feeling good from about the chest up now. So, yeah, thank you again for Monday, dude. You bailed me out big time.
I told you not to eat that Sasquatch gumbo, but you just insisted.
I got to listen to you a little bit more on that. We got a busy night tonight. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. Things are finally hopping again.
Swamp Dweller's about 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Yeah, there's a couple big stories that we got to get to right off the bat.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, T-Bone ×2, Trucker Andrew, and Benno for the super chats. Here we go, everyone. We are into the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I'm Dave Scott, your host, and we got the wizard coming up right after Swamp Dweller. It's going to be a busy UFO report coming on up, packed with information that it's like, wow, where did this all come from? We've been waiting and starving for UFO news, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this one hits like a punch to the teeth. It really does. All right. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. What do you got for us, Clam? It is Temporese. Temporese is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's head to the swamp.
Hello and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Swamp. I'm Swamp Dweller, and tonight I'm going to take you on a mystic journey of the unknown, sharing tales of monsters, legends, and nightmares. Welcome to the Spaced Out Radio Swamp. I had this supervisor, Kate. One day, we had a discussion that turned into the unexplained, and she told me about something that happened when she was a teenager. She tries to debunk crazy things that have happened, but this is one she hasn't been able to. It was the summer after she graduated high school, sometime in the late half of the 1990s. She was 18 at the time. Her friend Billy was a few years older but still lived with his mother in their house. This was in a small city in western Maryland, and Billy's house had just enough land that he could throw raging, day-to-night summer parties complete with bonfires. At the same time, they weren't very isolated, and random people from the surrounding neighborhoods would always show up at the party. One day, Billy met this skater kid named Nick, and he seemed chill. Being a social animal guy, Billy invited him to hang out with him at the house. Billy probably also took pity on Nick because Nick told him he was a runaway living at the park. So they would play video games, go on rides, and party till late at night. Nick started showing up every day at Billy's house, knocking at the door at 7 a.m. sharp and engaging him in the morning till night drinking. He was about 16 with dark eyes and dark spiky hair. Remember, this was the late 90s. He seemed relatively normal and everything except for a couple of things. The first was that he always wore the same thing, a plain t-shirt and a pair of camo print cargo shorts. Even though he was sleeping in a park, his clothes always looked clean. The second is that he was never seen eating or going to the bathroom, even though Nick drank heavily with Billy. Finally, oddly enough, no one remembers feeling Nick's skin, even my supervisor, who had sat next to him in a car during a road trip. She hung out with Billy and Nick at Billy's house 2 times, and each time she said her friend felt like something was very off with Nick, especially when he would give off this laugh that sounded very evil and maniacal. He also seemed to get kookier and weirder when they went on road trips and got further away from Billy's city. Nick would also never shut up about his father's gun collection. Finally, Billy's hospitality reached its limits after 2 weeks of waking Billy up at 7 a.m. to go party. Billy snapped at Nick at his front door. He said, "Look, Nick, you've been coming here every morning for 2 weeks. You're waking up my mother who's trying to sleep. You need to go now. Please just come back later." Then he slammed the door shut. Nick never showed up again. Billy came to Katie a little bit later with a newspaper article. It was about Nick who had killed himself. Nick had escaped the mental asylum his parents had put him in Billy's town, got to his father's house, and shot himself with his father's gun. Billy was initially upset because he felt he must have put Nick over the edge when he kicked him out until he checked the dates. Unfortunately, Nick had committed suicide on July 10th, 2 entire weeks before even meeting Billy.
Oh, that's weird. Thank you, Swampy, for another spooky, creepy story. If you want more just like that, head on over to Swamp Dweller, hit subscribe, ring that bell. He's here 7 days a week. It's time for the UFO Report.
Spaced Out Radio presents a UFO report. The UFO wizard makes his presence known. Josh Rutledge is ready to go.
The wizard Josh Rutledge is here, and all of a sudden, the last 24, 48 hours, the UFO news has gone absolutely haywire. What's going on here, Josh? And really, where do we start?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's I guess we're like the first month of 2026 was like, okay, we're gonna let 2025 settle. Now, boom, just all of a sudden videos coming out from Corbell about some drone footage from accounts happening in the Middle East. Some statements by Laura Trump related to disclosure. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think let's go ahead and let's start with Laura Trump.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, I'll kind of set it up for you. I'll tee it up for you. For the last week and a half, we've been hearing this story from a UK documentarian and former guest on Spaced Out Radio just a couple of months ago, Mark Christopher Lee. And he claims that he has a source within the close-knit ties of the President of the United States, who says on July 8th, he is going to make an announcement about UFOs. And July 8th happens to be 4 days after the 250th anniversary of your beautiful country, the United States of America. And it is also the 79th anniversary of the Roswell incident. And a lot of people have kind of been, dodging this, saying, yeah, who's your source? We don't know this guy. And then Lee comes out and says, I plan on holding a press conference soon, and I'm going to name my source. My source is going to be at this press conference. So we're like, okay, well, when's the press conference? There's been no announcement. And then Tim Burleson comes out and kind of mentions that he's expecting Trump to say something. And now today, Laura Trump comes out on her podcast. I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah. Basically, she was asked, what do you or the president know about UFOs? Can you share? And her response was basically that she believes in aliens and suggested that President Trump has undisclosed information that he's preparing to reveal. So, we talked about it last week, Dave, about the possibility that Trump Jr. could be this UK film guy could be his source, but you brought up a valid point. I feel like Jr. would, he would post it on his own podcast before he would, put it out for somebody else to run with. Would you say then that the same is probably true for Laura? Like, could we rule out Laura Trump as being Lee's potential source?
I'm going to answer this in a way that might upset a few people. and I don't mean to sound sexist when I say this, but a lot of times for boys of fathers, we want to know the toys our dad is playing with because we want to play with those toys too when we're growing up. And we gain these interests and we gain these quirks, okay? And Donald Trump Jr. has always had an affinity for Roswell. We've never heard Laura Trump or any of the Trump daughters talk about UFOs. You know what I'm saying? They've kind of been quiet about it. And then all of a sudden, Laura Trump absolutely gobsmacks all of us in this field, kind of confirming, in my opinion, what Mark Christopher Lee is saying, that something is coming, that the speech is pretty much made. Now, I don't know if she meant to do that or if she's just like, yeah, there's something coming. I'm allowed to say that. There's something coming. I don't know when, but there is something coming. You just don't expect that. The mouthpieces of Donald Trump has always been his sons. It's never really been his daughters. So for her to come out and say this, I think it adds 100% more clout to the story rather than if it was Don Jr. or Eric Trump or even Barron.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me though that is still, I guess, holding back on kind of fully committing to the idea that that Trump is going to be the quote unquote disclosure president, only because I just he hasn't really struck me as an individual who sits on big information like this. Like if he's drafted, I would have expected it to already have been said at a random press conference or said in passing in one of his interviews on Air Force One. Like he just in his modus of operandi, he does not sit on things. When he knows them, he says them. So that's the only part for me that is a little suspect, that he would be planning a reveal.
Well, here's what I heard. He's not into UFOs. Apparently, he doesn't really believe in him. But the one thing that Donald Trump has proven over his time, whether you like him or not, that's irrelevant, okay? He trusts his kids. Okay? He, at least publicly, he trusts his kids, their opinions. He trusted Ivanka when she was in office in his first term. He trusted Don Jr. I mean, you look at this past election, it was his youngest son, Barron, that was telling him, go on Joe Rogan, go on all of these podcasts, Theo Vaughn or whoever, get in touch with the younger voter. They will vote for you. And he listened to it. And that was a big turning point in the younger voting for him. Now, I'm not trying to get political. This isn't a political show. We're talking about UFOs here and where the story goes. So if he now has publicly two of his children saying, Dad, let's talk about this. It's Roswell's anniversary. You know it. You've been read in. Let's get something out. I bet you there is a chance. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but I think there is a greater chance of it happening because his children are very much into the subject.
Well, and I would like to correct one thing. So Laura Trump is not the daughter of Donald Trump.
Sorry.
She's the daughter-in-law. She's married to Eric.
Daughter-in-law, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll call it, two individuals with, inner circle, let's say, contact or connections with Donald Trump himself. So, more than likely, if they
Canadianism on that, okay.
If they get together for game night. More than likely, Laura's there with her husband, and they're all sitting around playing Farkle or whatever they do. So, yeah, I do think it's I don't know that the thing for me is I don't know that the topic. I don't listen to Laura Trump's podcast. I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts, to be honest, but other than Spaced Out Radio, and but from what I understand, her podcast is not really. It would not be topic appropriate to talk about UFOs and aliens on her podcast. That's not really what her podcast is about. So,
right.
For her to potentially be this guy in the UK's source, that could make sense because she would not expect to break it on her podcast. But at the same time, I would think then that she would just reinforce, Don Jr.'s podcast as, hey, you want to hear all the news about UFOs? Go check out, my brother-in-law's podcast. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I also she was asked the question, hey, what do you think about UFOs? And she said, I believe in aliens, and my father-in-law's preparing, a statement with undisclosed information. But, just that response doesn't really indicate that she knows what any of that information might be. She didn't really hint at anything. She just said she believes in aliens, which the term UFO is commonly associated with aliens. That's one of the reasons claimed why the government went with UAP instead of UFO, is to distance themselves from the ET hypothesis. But so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if July 8th comes and goes, and nothing happens, or does he blurt it out at some press conference in the coming weeks? I think that, the one thing about Trump is that he is unpredictable. So whether we'll get it, anytime between now and July 8th, on July 8th, on July 10th, I don't know. I guess we're in a wait and see mode right now.
It is going to be a wait and see. And I like how you said the unpredictability of it all, because you never know if or when it's going to happen. But I think if there is some seriousness to this and it seems to be gaining legs, I think that it is something that would be set up. And I don't think he would do it prior to the 4th of July. That's just way too important of a date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's going to be treading lightly up until then because, 250 years as a country, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. We've had our ups and downs, just like I'm sure every country has. But and when you think about us organized as a people, as a collective, we're still relatively young considered, across other countries around the world. So hopefully we'll grow out of some of our, we'll call them, I think we're probably like, in teenage years right now. Maybe we'll make it to adulthood one day, and grow out of some of the things that we've got going on. But, time will tell.
I would agree. I would agree. Now we just wait and see. But it just adds another layer that Mark Christopher Lee might be right.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. We got 4 minutes to go.
Okay.
How do you think it plays out? What do you think happens?
So I think, well, there's two uh, big what ifs or questions around the potential of Trump making his speech. Um, will he even make his speech? That's the biggest one, right? And then B, if he does, what will the context of his speech be, or the content of his speech be? Because I think, just like we talk about disclosure, I think most people in the community, when they talk about disclosure, they really mean aliens. They want to know about aliens.
Yes.
So if the topic of his speech is just about the government having a UFO program that investigates UFO sightings, that's going to be a pretty significant letdown. If his speech is they've been capturing crash retrieval craft for 80 years and they're going to roll some bodies out, I mean, that's bigger. If he's going to go on and say, "Hey, we've been in communication with aliens. They're actually they're a seat at the UN. We don't ever point the cameras at them." I mean, it could go any myriad of ways for his content. And excuse me, I don't know, like, based on what his content could be, obviously the effects it will have on the world can be anything from bro, we already knew that, to oh my gosh, it's real. So it could really, it could go any number of ways. The one thing I would say is that me, and I'll say this is on a personal level, me as a number one, an investigator, an experiencer, and number two, as someone who is, attempting to offer services to experiencers who are trying to, understand what their experience means to them. I have a strong feeling that I need to be ready to, whether it's because of Spielberg's movie that comes out a month earlier, or if it's because of Trump's statement in July, I need to be ready in the event that people start seeking out what does all this mean, and they go to non-traditional sources, not priests or clergy or a therapist. They want to seek out a non-traditional source. That's my bucket, and a bunch of other people's buckets too, right? I'm not trying to say I'm the only one, but so I just need to be ready for if that happens.
I can see that. And I think that's very, very admirable about it all. I really do. And I think that it is something that we do have to look at. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't even know if it's going to come out. I mean, look at how he talked about the JFK files, how he was going to release them all. There was still a bunch of pages that got held back, and there was way much more redaction than what he said was going to be on there. So what could it be? We don't know. We'll have to wait for that moment, but I don't know if it'll tie around Roswell. I would be surprised if it did, because if they did capture a craft and they did capture aliens there, that's a little bit of a different playing field than just saying we found a signal out in space. More videos on the UFO report being released.
This is Spaced Out Radio and your host, Dave Scott.
All right, buddy, we're clear.
Cool.
I figure I've dropped over 10 pounds since Saturday just by being sick.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, like, you don't really think about it, but like, when kids get, diarrhea or vomiting, it's really dangerous because they don't ingest enough fluids. They can actually die of dehydration. That's why, they always tell you to drink the Pedialyte or Gatorade or apple juice or something, so you get that, fluids and stuff back into your body that you're getting rid of. Because I know when I'm sick, the last thing I want to do is eat anything, but I can sit there and sip on some apple juice or something for, a couple hours.
Hey, PRM, Rob is doing his own show on his channel, The Social Dig. Yeah, we don't have a weekend show here anymore. Rob wanted to focus on his channel, which is cool. He's doing a great job over there. Absolutely great job. And yes, I do tune in because he's smart and I like him. I'll actually be seeing Rob and hanging out with him at UFO Con next month in San Francisco. So make sure you all check it on out. Are you coming up to that, Josh?
No. Nope. Not in the budget, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't think Vegas is going to be in the budget for me, at least for May. Probably going to do it later on in the year.
Do it in August. We can celebrate my birthday.
Okay. Bombshell Bomber, how are you? Smoky Mountain, how you doing? Ben to the O. Lex Diaz. We had about 220.
I don't know if you heard or not, but are you familiar with the Madar project?
A little bit.
So the guy who started that, one of the guys, Fran Ridge,
Yeah.
he recently passed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was 83.
Oh, man. That sucks.
Yeah. Madar is going to continue, but underneath a different guy who's been running the IT side of it for a while. But yep, Fran Ridge is, he now knows the answers. He knows the truth.
That's right. Hopefully he's having a good journey on the other side.
Yeah.
One minute. Thank you to Benno, Andrew, and T-Bone ×2 for our super chats tonight. Greatly appreciate your love of SOR. Excuse me.
How deep is your love?
How deep is your love? If you notice on our website, if you've been there recently, you'll notice there's some changes a little bit on there. Yeah. Put some more stuff on there. So if you haven't visited lately, go check it on out.
I haven't been to it lately. I'm going to have to go check it on out.
Yeah. 10 seconds, buddy. We're into the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Let's get things going. Josh Rutledge, the UFO wizard, is here with an incredible UFO report tonight. We're going to get right to it right now as we bring in the wizard. And we go from potential Donald Trump saying something in July about UFOs to new videos that have been brought out, Josh, by Jeremy Corbell, documentarian and investigative journalist, George Knapp. Tell us about it.
Yep. So they released 2 new videos earlier this week. Both are footage from drones, the MQ-9 Reaper drone. This is the same type of drone that the footage that was released in the last UAP hearing in 2025 of the supposed Hellfire missiles striking the object and the pieces breaking off, etc. That some people claim to be was a balloon. Others, said it was something else. But this is the same type of drone that filmed that. But in one of the videos, it's you see 3, orbs or 3 lights flying in kind of a triangle formation, as if they might be, kind of more of a triangular craft. However, the videos are short, only about 8 seconds long. And in the video, you see the orbs reposition themselves in relation to each other, which would rule out then that they are part of a singular craft, unless that craft is, has the ability to change its shape. Is very possible. So that's one video. Then the second video is a longer video, and it is from Syria in 2021. And it's when basically there was a strange object that was flying in kind of a open area near the Jordan-Syrian border. And one of these drones kind of locked onto it with its camera and watched it and followed it for a while until ultimately the object just abruptly, flew off in one direction and then quickly changed directions and accelerated out of the frame. In the second video, the one that's a little bit longer of the object that was the fast acceleration, one of the hypotheses was that the camera itself on the drone quickly, shifted its perspective, and it gave the illusion that the object was flying, or flying away quickly. But there's some details in the video that, honestly, for the first time in a while, we've actually gotten some good on-screen reference points. And one of the reference points are actually relevant. Two of the reference points help us know that that's not what happened. It actually did on its own move quickly out of frame. The 2 reference points are actually at the top of the video. And one is the very top number is the heading of the actual aircraft. It's compass heading. And the second one, which is below it, is the compass heading of the camera. So if the camera or drone quickly shifted its position, which would have caused the orb to appear, or the object to appear to zip off, then those 2 numbers would have changed, and they did not, while filming this thing quickly accelerate away. So to me, that clearly says that, this is, Lou Elizondo's, 6 observables, one of them being, instantaneous acceleration that was observed with this object.
Jeremy Corbell has been known to put out a lot of videos, and there is a lot of questions as to who his source is, who is feeding him these videos. You have a theory about this. Now, you're not saying you're right, but there is some information that seems to be pointing in a certain direction for you as you sleuth around.
Yes. So, and I'll even go back. So this goes back to the even the released video at the UAP hearing in 2025. If you remember, Burleson said, "Hey, somebody just gave this to me, and I want to enter it into record." He sets it up a little bit, and then he plays the video of the Hellfire mission striking the object. There's something that I originally noted when that video came out, is that the video, you can, if you pay attention, what you'll see is that it's someone else filming a screen that is showing the video. So that's number one. These two new videos that have been released are the same type. It's someone filming a screen which is showing the footage of what we're witnessing. So that's the first point. The second point is when the Corbell interview of Dylan Borland came out. It came out some weeks after the UAP hearing. But I went and I watched all 2.5 hours of the interview. And there's several points in the interview where it becomes clear that they are filming the interview before Borland gave his testimony at the UAP hearing. So my theory is, in my opinion, however I need to say it, that doesn't, come back to bite me, is that a potential source for these videos is Borland. Because Dylan Borland, that's what he did for his time in the military, as well as after the fact in, doing security operations for 2 different companies. His specialty was drone video analysis as it relates to, combat, theaters of combat. So he would have been in a position to be viewing videos on a screen as a part of his job, and potentially, take out his phone and film this thing that he is viewing. The footage that Burleson showed in Congress was supposedly from October 2024. The 2 videos that were released by Corbell, one is from 2012 or 14, and the other one is from 2021, all during dates when Dylan Borland was operating as a security intelligence video analysis, drone video analysis individual. So I'm curious if it is Dylan Borland as the source of these videos, because the other interesting thing is that they've talked to Dylan Borland. They did that really long interview where they basically set the, he is an expert as it relates to drone video footage. Yet in the episode that came out this week where they showed these 2 videos, they did not pull him in as to provide witness test or analysis of these videos. I thought that was very interesting. They pulled this other guy in who's a former, Secretary of State intelligence guy that did some video analysis. But you've got a video analysis expert at your disposal. Why would you not bring him in to review these things, unless potentially his review would be, compromised if he was the source of the videos?
Here's what I heard from some sources about a year ago, 2 years ago. Jeremy Corbell allegedly may have a source deep within the Pentagon, because where these videos come from is a very segregated area where there is a limited number of people. And that limit, I believe, is somewhere between 100 and 300 people have access to it. and they haven't been able to allegedly pinpoint who or how many people are feeding Corbell the information. These are videos that were not supposed to be released publicly, most of them. And whether you buy them or not, or you think they are helicopters or drones or whatever, he is getting his videos from the inside. Now, whether the person on the inside is giving him correct videos or feeding him a bunch of bunk, we will never know. Because when you're playing at that level, you have to trust your source's word. And you don't really know if your source is playing you. You don't. But you never give up a source that deep, number one. Because a lot of people will be like, well, who's the source? Name names. It's not how it works. Right?
Yeah.
It's not how it works at all. And I think for Jeremy Corbell, I say keep sending him out. Keep bringing us the videos. George Knapp, keep bringing us the videos. All right? Doesn't matter what the critics say, okay? The majority of the critics out there don't understand journalism as far as they can throw or spell the word. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. We want to see it happen. We need more.
Yep. I mean, I would agree because it gets people talking about it, and people in the more mainstream potentially asking other, Burleson, Luna, whatever the case would be, their thoughts on it. And then we get to hear them basically go on the record saying it's interesting or it's bunk. But regardless, we get a response from the people who are, supposedly neck deep in this, in the government, at least on the public side of the government. So, I think that, continue to put it out because it creates pressure. And that pressure will hopefully lead eventually to someone cracking. And then we'll get to kind of see and peer through that crack to see what actually is behind door number one.
I think it's going to be amazing. I really do think it's going to be amazing. And look, whether you like Jeremy Corbell or not, irrelevant. Okay. I've had some questions about him. I think everybody has. Okay. But the one thing the guy is that you cannot take away from him, you can call him brash, you can call him arrogant, you can call him whatever you want, selfish. Okay. That's just the critics. But the one thing that I give him a lot of credit for, he is connected. He has done a great job at networking himself with whistleblowers, with insiders who we don't know, with politicians, in that special that was done on him where he's literally walking into Tim Burchett's office or walking in to see Nancy Mace or Anna Paulina Luna. You and I can't do that as UFO researchers and journalists, Josh. We can't. You have to build the source. You have to build the trust. Okay. And I think because of Jeremy's persona being very brash, cocky, some would say arrogant, that a lot of people take out their frustration on him from the field. Okay. They don't want Jeremy Corbell to be at the front of disclosure because they don't think he's a good face for us. But he's never been part of us. He's doing his own thing.
Or it's also possible that it's a little bit of jealousy.
Exactly. So good on him. We got 6 minutes left. What do you got for us?
Okay, the last thing. In a recent interview on a podcast named, I'm going to blank on the name right now, Aliens Last Night. What an interesting name for a podcast. Burleson, again, Eric Burleson, congressperson, was being interviewed, and he revealed that there is reportedly a massive craft hidden in a foreign country that is so large it cannot be moved. And according to Burleson, authorities built an entire structure around it rather than attempting to relocate it. In the interview, he mentioned Dr. Stephen Greer as having previously talked about this site and confirmed it is now on the list of locations he is requesting the White House access to. Now, the location that Greer talked about when he mentioned it before was in just outside of Seoul, South Korea. So this is not the Greenland, UFO that was kind of a hot button item for a few weeks ago. This is outside of Seoul, South Korea, that Greer was talking about. So it seems like Burleson has or is giving credibility to the report from Greer to the point where, he's put it on a list that says, hey, we need to get access to this. I don't know. I mean, I was watching something from Greer where he was talking about this, and he temporarily put up like a Google Earth image of where it supposedly is, and it had the coordinates on it. So I went and looked at those coordinates in Google Earth, and I mean, it's just, on Google Earth, it's just green. Like there's no, you can't see anything, but I mean, sure. Why not? Why, I think when we think about a structure being built over top of something, we think of like, a big warehouse, but it quite literally could have been, designed to have a hill, basically, for a while there was an interest. There used to be a lot of places in the U.S. that have these, that are houses that are built into the ground. Supposedly it's supposed to be better for cooling, or temperature control year round, things like that. You save on shingles. So it's very possible that it was built, constructed, covered up with dirt. They planted trees, let the forest or jungle take over. And, you can't see it unless you're standing on the ground looking at it. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. And I do think that's plausible. I mean, you look at a lot of our pop culture stuff, a lot of the Transformers movies and shows centered around a crashed Transformer ship in the side of a mountain that everybody just assumed it was like some sort of a shape in the mountain, when in all actuality it was a crashed ship. So maybe it crashed millions of years ago. Who knows? And they just found it when they were cutting through the jungle. I mean, who really, you want to talk about it? Who knows what is buried deep in some of the jungles of the world that is waiting to be discovered? So, I mean, maybe I think this has as much credibility as any other thing that have been talked about so far.
My big thing is, where do you think this is? I've been trying to put it out. I mean, everybody now, because Greenland is the hot button topic, thinking that the craft is in Greenland. There's been talk that it's in Canada. There's been talk that it's in the US. There's talk that it's in the Middle East, that they've built big things around it. Where do you think it is?
Well, like I said, Greer said Seoul, South Korea. That seems like a general place, good enough places anywhere else. I don't think it's Greenland, only because the ice sheet, the glaciers and stuff that are there, like it, a lot of people don't realize that glaciers are constantly moving. They are literally flowing rivers of ice. And the amount of friction that is created from that flowing river of ice, that's why we have the Great Lakes in North America, is they were carved out by glacier movement. So the possibility that it's a Greenland, I think, is remote, simply because the amount of movement from those glaciers would have destroyed a long time ago anything that was there. But I think, the thick vegetation of forests, a lot of like Middle Africa, Asian continents, South America. I mean, heck, even a lot of Canada is unexplored wilderness. Something could be there. So I think that's probably, more of a possible explanation than somehow it was crashed in the middle of Seoul and we built the post office around it. That's I don't think that's likely. I think it is some very remote location and it was discovered and then something was built around it to keep it hidden while they tried to investigate some, and learn things about it. And again, that is presented throughout our movie and TV pop culture. Aliens and Predator and all this kind of thing is all, they go to these remote locations and these jungles and they hide and that they function kind of in plain sight, but hidden. So I don't really know where it is, but if there is one, I think it's probably in a remote location.
My friend, it is that time for us to wrap things up. Probably one of the hardest hitting UFO reports we've had in a long time. So thank you, Wizard, for your great work tonight. We greatly appreciate it, my man. As we say goodnight to the Wizard and hello to Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, Elga, Facebook, Spreaker, LinkedIn, the Space Travelers Club, and on X at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and Bigfoot Broadcasting Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us. Because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night, but soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night, everybody. Good job tonight, Wizard.
Thank you, Dave.
That was a hard show to do. I mean, that was and sorry about, thank you for the correction on Laura Trump there, too.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. I didn't want you to get all kinds of, comments from people after the fact.
Oh, I'm going to blame myself being Canadian there. Hope you don't mind.
That's all right. I mean, I did just Google it. But yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go and go to bed. I did not sleep well last night. My dog decided to sleep on my feet, and I hate when that happens.
Right.
So, and yeah, we'll get back into it on Monday.
Yeah, we will, man. Thank you for your great work.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Catch you guys on the flip side.
All right. That's the Wizard, everybody. Put that there. Put that there. Gorgeous Kim Jellin, what are you doing up at this hour? Hi, Mr. Cowley. Good night, Mr. Cowley. Mr. Cowley. Welcome back to the show. Oh, Mr. Cowley. Loves his Spaced Out Radio. Flat 6, how you doing? Thomas Rock, how you doing? Who's on tomorrow night? Who's on? Let's take a look. Well, it's R. Keith Andrews and the ET Connection, everybody. How stoked are you for a big bad R. Keith? How stoked are all of you? It's going to be a night of woo with the pork chop meister himself. We have good people around here. Good people. You guys, the listeners, you look at the Wizard, you look at Robin, you look at R. Keith, Christian, Varla. Are you in Cambodia right now, Kim Jellin? You're on vacation and you literally are here? Weird. That's all sorts of weird. All sorts o' weird. Like sweet child o' mine. All sorts o' weird. Let's load this thing up, man. Download. There we go. Finally. Yeah. I forget who complained about me singing the Mr. Cowley thing. There was that. I got told to F off because I was making fun of Black Friday because I wanted the brawls to happen. Got in trouble for that. Another one I got in trouble. I still don't know why. Oh, I was a whiner. I was a whiner because because apparently Lou Elizondo and none of the big names would come on my show. So I got called a whiner and a complainer because, I give up so much about what we do behind the scenes here. What else? What else? It doesn't happen often. Just every now and again, sometimes a listener snaps because they listen to so many different channels and podcasts that they don't understand what you're trying to put out. Oh, and then I've been called woke. Won't listen to this woke crap. I've been called a Nazi because of the way I run the chat room. Because I don't allow freedom of speech. Where I guess those people don't really understand what freedom of speech means, which means in a private chat room, I can say what I want and what I do not want in my chat room. Like people talking about pedos or people talking about politics or whatever. I've been called a Democrat, a liberal, a far right winger. Oh, it's amazing what people will. Oh, I was a grifter too. I've been called a liar. I was told I had somebody spreading around for a while that I only had as many subs as we do because I bought followers. That one was funny. I don't even know how to do that, let alone actually do that. Yeah, I want to get my YouTube channel demonetized by fake subs. Yeah, that's always smart. I've been told I'm not rough enough on my guests. I'm not tough. I don't raise my voice to them enough. Oh, yeah. You never make anybody happy. I mean, the majority, like you guys, you make happy. But I mean, being in a public face in this and doing what I do, that's one of the big reasons why I kind of pulled away from the UFO world, was because it was just getting too. I got so sick of hearing about hucksters and grifters and all of this bullshit, right? And it's like I just want to run a show and run my little small business here and have fun. Don't need it. I make thousands of people happy through my radio side of the program, through the podcast and the YouTube side. You're not going to make everybody happy. It just stings when it does. I mean, you can always have, hey, I'm all open for critical thinking. Here's what a lot of you guys don't see, because I've had a lot of people come up to me. You need to change your show. You need to change your format. You need to do this. You need to do that. I have professional broadcasters who critique my show every few months. Like people who've been in the industry for like 20, 30 years. I've had people who have, I'll give you an example. If you live in Canada, and I'm saying Canada because I don't know if it's in the United States, but up here in Canada, we have a company called Stingray that has a bunch of music channels on cable, and they have about 50, 60 radio stations across the country. The president of that company critiqued my show. And he goes, This is awesome. This is great late night radio, and it's live. And I'm still waiting to hear from him because he was supposed to get his vice presidents to get back to me on it. And never heard back from his vice presidents. Yeah, this guy runs a multi-million-dollar media company. Oh, yeah. Then you get the one, yeah. Then you get the people who don't want the experiences because they think it's bad form for the community. Oh, yeah. I could go on and on. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I have an extremely stressful daytime job. Okay, I do. And there are times when I just want to come home and do this show so I can relax. So that's what I do. Right? That's what I do. Has the show taken off over the years the way I thought it would? No. No, I thought we would be, if I were to look back 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I thought we'd be on 70, 80 radio stations by now, and I wouldn't have a daytime job. But I do. And I love my daytime job. It's stressful. I actually had a talk with my boss about that today. You know? But I think the reason why we haven't been picked up is our fault. It's not the radio station's fault. It's our fault. You know, there are certain things that we probably have not accomplished that we should. And we're working on that. We're totally working on that. And I've just brought in a video guy here locally. So you're probably going to see some changes to our social media, good changes, where we're going to see more shorts. We're going to see more we're going to see more videos on TikTok, and I got to get more in front of the camera, and he's going to motivate me to do that. And his name is Mike. He's got a beautiful goatee, just a gorgeous goatee. I think it's about 1 foot long. Very nice. And the last person I got involved with Spaced Out Radio that has a long goatee like that, it's Ron Bumblefoot Thal. And I think that turned out pretty good. So that's built my trust in somebody who has a goatee like that. It's built my trust. But he is a digital marketer, retired. He's my age. He quit his job in Calgary to come take back home to 100 Mile here in order to take care of his mom. Right? So he's going to take care of a bunch of that stuff. And we can kind of go from there. And I think it's going to be a real benefit, especially with what we're doing with the tourism side of SOR. No, Paramarv, I am working on Merle for that. Merle has what you guys don't know about Merle is Merle has gone through a hard time personally right now with the declining health of his father, and he's really close to his dad, and it's really hitting him hard because his mom passed away a few years ago from cancer. And so the fact that, you know, probably within the next year or two, he's going to be parentless, it's really hitting him hard. So he hasn't devoted enough time to what he wants to do because of his dad's health. And I don't blame him for that. I think that's admirable. Villain, how are you? So, one of the other things we're going to be doing in talking with new Mike is, and he'll get a nickname soon. I just got to get to know him a little bit better. But we're actually going to pull Secrets of the Forest off of the Spaced Out Radio YouTube channel, and we are going to we're going to create its own separate YouTube channel, Secrets of the Forest. I haven't built it yet. I'm not going to do a bunch of, we might do an Instagram and a TikTok on it. But that's pretty much it. Because then we got just too much social media going on, but we might just keep it a YouTube channel. We'll talk to Mike about that, new Mike, and go from there. Because I really believe, not just my channel, but I've talked to numerous people over the last number of months. And I think that, our genre with YouTube / Google is being shadow banned for whatever reason. I don't understand that. It's way out of my knowledge or purview on how it works. Okay, but there's a lot of channels like ours. Martin Willis, Thomas Fessler's gone down. He used to be 5 days a week. He's moved it down to 3. And many, many others who I've talked to about their numbers going down on viewership. We were trending really, really well, going on the up and up. And then all of a sudden, just 1 month, a couple of years ago, and it just crashed. It crashed really, really hard. And we went back to like where we were at the beginning. Now, our numbers continue to drop. I don't think a lot of you know that. We're trying to figure out why. I don't believe it's because we don't really do shorts or anything like that. I think it's all algorithm feed. And when I talk to somebody like Martin Willis, who's seen his show drop by thousands of views a month, it really kind of hits home with that. So I think because of that, there is I'm not saying there's a blockage of our programming, but it's just not in the AI algorithm's purview right now, unless you have a channel with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers. Because there are people who are doing well with our type of programming, but if you look at them, they've already figured out the YouTube algorithm. Whether it's paranormal, whether it's cryptid or UFO. But those channels that are, say, 50,000 and under, like us, it makes it difficult. So that's something that Mike is working on right now, and he's doing the research on it. We'll talk in a couple of days about it. So I think moving Secrets of the Forest into his into its own entity and YouTube channel, I think it's going to do really well for that channel. And that channel isn't about anything but having fun. And that way we can do a little bit more with it. And one of the things we talked about, like if we made money on monetizing it through commercial ad or whatever, one of the things that we want to do with that channel is whatever money we would get from advertising, because I don't want any super chats or anything on that channel. It's not what it's for. You guys get free entertainment for that. Let Google pay for it. Let the advertisers pay for it. But one of the things that I look at that channel and I think, okay, it'll be fresh, it'll be new, it'll be out of the algorithms or out of the spaced out radio algorithms. And hopefully it would, become its own little entity. And like next year, we're going to be adding, or this year, I should say, next season, when we start going out there in May, we will be adding more people to it. So it's going to make it a lot more fun, because we're going to have more people out there. And, it'll be like building our own cast of characters. So we could do shorts on the characters. We could do shorts on things we found. So, LS, thank you for finding us. We really appreciate it. I hope you find a good home here. I do. We have good people in the chat room. We do. So, anyways, I got to get going, guys. I got to get up for work in the morning. Thank you to T-Bone ×2, Trucker Andrew, Benno. Love you guys. Appreciate it. R. Keith Andrews tomorrow night, everybody. We'll talk soon.
Healthy, my friend.
You too.
You need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.